What's up, everybody? You are not crazy. This is not a technical error. This is just two really good-looking dudes doing a podcast today. I got my friend Brett with me. Brett, introduce yourself. Give them a little background on where you're from, who you are, all that good stuff.
Oh man, Brett Mcclelland. Been big into the paranormal for a long time, so Cody brought me on from McLeod, Oklahoma, and just here to shoot the shit with this guy and try to spread some knowledge.
So, first thing I wanted to get into was the paranormal. I got a lot of shit I want to talk to you about, but not having a lot of knowledge in paranormal, I feel like not a lot of other people do either.
Right.
Even people that are open and understand that world exists, there are many things we don't know.
Well, most people don't, it doesn't exist past Ghost Adventures.
Why do you think that is?
You know what I mean?
Why do you think there's a big fucking block that won't let us explore that side like of the universe?
I don't know. I think a lot of it, like you were talking about earlier, like we were discussing about the consciousness stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's just some people are more set up. I mean, literally bred and set up. Your consciousness is set up to do it more than others. Right.
Like if you grew up in a Christian household, and again, I'm always pounding on Christians, but that's not the purpose. But if you grew up in a Christian home where God and Jesus rule supreme no matter what.
Right.
No matter what.
Right.
You fall back to that. So if there's something paranormal that someone can't explain, I think a lot of it gets pushed into the religious world just because they can't explain it and they don't know what to do. And so they turn to their preacher and he says, well, ghosts aren't real.
Yeah.
Jesus is real.
100%. And then they automatically go, oh, okay, that answers that. How does that answer that?
Well, that's our biggest problem is we take an ideology for an answer. You can't question Jesus.
Yeah.
So that's the answer. Like, it doesn't fucking matter that you just felt something or you just saw something because Jesus said you didn't.
Right.
And you were raised that way. You were raised in a house where if you question something that would say Jesus is wrong or doesn't exist or goes against a Christian or a Baptist based household, like your parents would flip shit.
Right. And I think and even people who aren't Christian based, I think the reason that people that aren't Christian based, whatever, or that don't get any further into it is a lot of people are scared of it. They don't want it to be true.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, because it's scary shit. Like, that is a scary fucking thing. Like,
right.
But I think that's why I think that's why it's better to investigate and explain versus let's get more myths. Let's get more fucking stories that have no base to them whatsoever.
Right.
And let's say that shit's true.
Right.
You know, even though we know it's not, we'll say it's fucking true. And this is kind of off topic, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this. So I watched this deal today, and it basically explains why extraterrestrials showing up is a big fucking deal for like Baptist, Church of Christ, Catholic. There's a lot of religions that are Christian based that are in deep shit if there is an extraterrestrial. You can go on the internet and see the pictures, the videos. These aren't fucking planes.
Right.
There's something going on. You can clearly tell it.
Yeah, it's blatantly obvious.
When they show up and the Christians greet them, and it's this whole Jesus Christ, Son of God, he's here to resurrect man, die for man's sins. He's all tied to humankind. The Buddhists, they don't have that. The Jewish, they don't have that. There is no central human figure that like saved everyone salvationally to get them to heaven. If I'm a fucking extraterrestrial and I land and I hear this shit, I'm going to be like, well, what about me, motherfucker? Like, I don't get to go to heaven?
Yeah, what do I do?
That poses a problem for religion.
Yeah, all of them. So
on a extraterrestrial and kind of paranormal side of things, what do you think would happen if like a fucking an extraterrestrial or a paranormal presence made itself known like tomorrow? How's this going to be received? What do we do? Who does what? Who does what there?
There would be some people like me and you and a lot of others that would be like, I fucking told you. or you know what I mean? Like, I knew it, something like that, because we don't know.
Right, nobody knows.
We don't know for sure. You know what I mean? But I think there would be a lot of really hardcore Christians and really that would, would go as far as, oh, it's the Antichrist.
Right.
Or it's, you know what I mean? Or it is the second coming.
Right, like the Antichrist just landed on this motherfucker.
And he's here to fuck shit up.
Yep.
You know
and
what I mean?
Like, even though they didn't show up with fucking guns, they didn't show up in any way, they showed up just to say what's up. And for me, that seems fun.
Right.
It seems better. It seems better if there's a planet out there that has cool shit that they could bring here, and maybe they don't have gold, or maybe they don't have uranium or limestone or whatever the fucking mineral or substance may be. We could trade that shit for some cool alien shit. Like,
exactly.
The possibilities are endless.
I mean, everything back in the day was all barter. You know what I mean? Like, everything was trade. You know what I mean? It was harvest, trade, what you had for people, to the stuff that they didn't have. You know what I mean?
Right, like grain would be traded for granite.
Exactly.
Something like along those lines. There wasn't a coin value that was predetermined, established. If you don't have this and this much of it, you cannot eat.
Right.
And we have that now.
Yeah.
We have a society where if you do not have money, you can't do the same shit as everyone else.
You can't hardly live anymore.
No, you can't.
You know what I mean? Especially in our country.
No, you can't you cannot go get a job for even, $13, $14 an hour, and then your partner go get the same, and you two kind of do the American struggle and budget and kind of live. You can't even do that shit no more. You will get fucked.
Yeah.
You need money.
The cost of living
you need money.
The ceiling is just unbelievable.
So from Oklahoma, I don't think a lot of people know this, but like, we have a lot of fucked up shit that goes on in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, we just get slept on.
And I slept on it. I don't know about it. You've informed me on a lot of it. So why don't you just kind of open up the paranormal with something that's happened here in Oklahoma that maybe a lot of people have never fucking heard about?
Well, there's a few things. I mean, when it comes to one, in my mind, a lot of it is the Bible Belt. We're right dead in the center of the Bible Belt. So when I call to try to get access to a lot of these places, they don't want to allow me in these places because they don't want me to find anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't want me to come to them and say, hey, check this out. Because they don't want...
Right.
No, as long as they keep me out, then it's what they have in their head is true.
All the souls are in heaven or hell.
Exactly.
They're not here.
Right.
And I think that's a big hold up, is the whole fact that we look at it like everything is heaven or hell, but who fucking knows that?
Yeah.
Who died and came back and was like, listen, guys, here's what happens.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody.
Yeah.
So it's back to the fish and a bear thing. If a dude comes up and he's like, hey, Brett, Cody, did y'all know fish are bear and bear are fish? We're not going to even be willing to have the fucking conversation. You have no scientific, you have nothing that says a bear is a fish. I feel like heaven and hell is the same thing. No living human has any fucking knowledge of heaven or hell. Not a motherfucking drop.
Correct.
Of proof. And then I hear some stories, from guys like you that have actually are trained and, are very knowledgeable in paranormal investigation. And you tell me, like, the opposite of what church says can happen.
Right.
And there's no other way to look at it, whether it's paranormal, extraterrestrial, whatever. We're talking about the exact fucking opposite.
Yeah.
Of what a church, says is out there.
Yeah. And like, one of the ones that if I could ever get on to get out there would be ideal for me would be like, it's Camp Scott. And it was a bunch of Girl Scout murders in the 70s. And there was 3 or 4 girls, I can't remember, but a guy broke into the campus of the Girl Scout camp and killed 3 or 4 of them in their tents.
Was there any sexual or domination type shit involved?
There
like, he was just a murderer.
He did torture. I mean, it was not a clean...
There was some sick shit.
Yes, it was not a clean, like, go in there, shoot him, going about
sick shit went on.
It was brutal.
Right.
And, I contacted them, and they actually... a lot of people won't even respond to me. And I'm very professional when I send them an email.
Well, your number's out there. Like,
it is.
If anybody wanted to have him look into anything paranormal or.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's out there.
Yeah.
If you have something going on, I mean, now in 2019 is the time to figure it out, because that's the problem. Is quit taking, like, we're sitting here telling you things, take them, leave them. It does not matter to us one bit. But the man is telling you about a real factual, and that's important to get out. This is a factual thing. This is not Cody and Brett's opinion of what happened at a camp.
Yeah, that happened.
There was a camp and women were murdered.
Right, correct.
Just wanted to make sure, like, we throw that out there.
And what's crazy is to this day that murder is still unsolved.
Wow.
Yeah. So my thing was, there can't be there's got to be some nothing at rest there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I go about it when I go through my email with them. I will genuinely be like, look, you can be there with me. I don't care. You can have somebody there. I am not there to deface property. I'm not there to hurt anything. I am there to just do what
or
I
even
want to do
even like debunking like a religion or Christianity. You don't show up like with an attitude like,
none.
This isn't real. Ghosts are real.
Yeah.
Nothing else is real. You show up like, we'll figure out what the fuck's going on.
And if there's nothing, I'm going to tell you.
A lot of times there's nothing, right?
A lot
I mean,
of times.
you come into nothing. But in this particular camp situation, I have a feeling like there were probably so many things that were something that you couldn't do that with it.
Yeah, no. But when you, back to your question, when you said like something in Oklahoma that most people don't know about, I would have to go back to what we were talking about earlier. I have to go back to Gandini Circus.
Yeah, that one's tight.
You know, and that's, if a lot of people don't even know the history of
right.
that.
I didn't.
You know, right.
Bust that out for us, because I didn't know the history. All I knew was that it existed, and I have a feeling like that's all most Oklahomans know was that was a thing.
Right, and people would be like, oh, you know, it's in Edmond somewhere, you know, but it's the like we talked about earlier. It's the crazy part. It's right in the center of Edmond, in one of the most densely populated places.
Prime real estate.
Literally. You know, stuff that's $35,000 an acre.
Right, like On Q should be swooping up, or apartment complexes should be swooping up. We should be building in this. Why aren't we?
Exactly. There's a 15, get this though, the property has changed hands 13 different times.
Because they can't sell it.
And nobody's broke
Can't
ground
develop
on
it. Yep, can't be developed is probably why.
But why can't it be developed?
I would guess there's paranormal fucking things that fuck with it.
Oh, and we've been out there, you know, so many times. Like, I would tell you, like I told you earlier, there's nobody who knows that place better than I do.
Right.
I could draw you a mental map of that right now, and it would be identical to what it is. You know, and it's just, I've got video, I've got picture, I've got EVP, I've got, if you want paranormal proof, I have it from Gandini Circus.
Right.
You know, and it's just, the people who, and have we went out there and got nothing? Absolutely. Absolutely. We went out there and just quiet all night.
That's gonna happen though, and there's other proof. I've been shown things from a paranormal level that I can't explain what the fuck that is.
Right.
And for anybody else to think they can't either is fucking ludicrous.
Right.
You know, it's like, you have never died. You have never been a spirit. You have never took a last breath and then, where are we?
Yeah.
And if you haven't done that, then shut the fuck up.
Right.
And that's where I get so irritated in the realm of like paranormal, is the people that tell you, well, that's not real, will be some preacher, or it'll be some Bible Belt fucking jackass that grew up and can't evolve his mind past the fact that we've been held down, we've been tied down. If you don't think there's government cover-ups, look at MK Ultra. Syphilis exists in our world because the U.S. government developed it in a lab and then literally shot it into African American prisoners to see what would happen. And now we can control it with medicine, but it's not gone.
And it's not anywhere near gone.
And the U.S. government paid billions to the families. Bill Clinton had to go Google Bill Clinton MK Ultra speech, and you will get a speech from a U.S. president apologizing for basically our country developing syphilis and then putting it into prisoners. So if they're willing to do that, are they willing to tell you the truth if you call them and say, hey, this happened at this site with this kind of crazy fucking thing, you know, like any paranormal shit, just say this thing moved or this happened. they're gonna probably act like you're fucking crazy,
Exactly.
but they'll be the first ones to go to the house.
Oh yeah.
There will be more reports of people in a fucking suit, people in a black car. Like, the men in black are not made up.
Right.
It's like there are fucking thousands of eyewitness accounts from either paranormal or extraterrestrial settings where dust settles a little bit. Guess who's here?
Right.
You know, and they fuck with everything.
Exactly. My gentleman from New York I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. Tell that story real quick. This is pretty crazy. You need to hear a backstory.
Had a guy find me on a webpage that I have my number listed on, and it's just a paranormal directory. But what's crazy is he was looking through and clicked on a number in Oklahoma, and when he calls me and tells me he's from New York City, and I'm like, why are you calling me? If you're from New York City, and he said, I don't know, that's the number I was drawn to.
Fate.
Right. And like we were
y'all's energies
right.
were
we were meant
syncing.
to speak to each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he starts telling me about he's discovered how to communicate with extraterrestrials through frequencies and stuff like that, and through astral projection.
Right.
And stuff like that. And then begins to tell me that after months and months and months of doing this, that he wakes up and has an item behind his ear that hadn't been there before, and then the guys in the suits start appearing, and then the vehicles and the helicopters, and even when he's at his brother's house, he has eyes on him.
Right.
And then I talked to him 3 or 4 times over about a 3-week period, and then he's gone.
Never to be heard from again.
I tried to reach out to him, no answer. He never heard from him, and it was a decently common thing where we were talking once or twice a week.
And then he was just gone.
Vanished.
And so, from kind of just my standpoint, there's the few obvious ones. You got to take into account that, like, he could have died in a car wreck.
Absolutely.
He could have went to South America to live for whatever. But there's also the fucking possibility that some of that shit, some of the things this man was dealing with, wasn't bullshit.
Right.
Some of these things were really happening. The men in black could have been there for a whole nother reason. Bottom line is, this dude is a human being.
Correct.
And whether he's crazy or completely legit, in his reality, this is real.
Oh, he was, and that's one thing he said. He said, I am so happy to speak to you and you not call me crazy.
Right, because that's mainly all a lot of people want to hear, and what a lot of people don't realize is some of these people are not correct.
Right.
But in their reality, what they're projecting, the way they feel, is that this is true and that these things are happening. And for me, you don't dog like another human. You don't just put a motherfucker down because you don't understand
right.
what's at hand. Like, you hold a little bit of compassion for, at minimum, he's got mental fucking problems,
right.
and they're tied to a paranormal or extraterrestrial reality for
right.
some reason.
And if I can help him, I'm going to try.
Right. They're tied there for a reason.
Right.
So even if it's just like, hey, bro, you're mistaken, this is not a paranormal situation, I still feel like you would step in and tell them that.
Right.
And if it was a paranormal situation, you would say, like, hey, bro, we've got a little more work we've got to do because this is fucked up.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's all, like, I'm looking for out of the world at this point is, don't think you understand. Don't think you know everything. Just because some dude may seem crazy and he's saying, like, well, I saw a fucking flying saucer, or I walked into this abandoned house and there was a motherfucking person standing there.
Right.
That may not be bullshit.
Yeah, he may be telling you the honest God truth.
And, like, I've seen personal, firsthand extraterrestrial technology in the form of communications with DMT, astral projection, and other realms.
Right.
I feel like that is where you'll find a lot of your extraterrestrial stuff.
Right.
Is people don't realize, like, science has already proven there's more than one dimension.
Right.
We don't live in one. I mean, we don't know what happens in another dimension. We're not there.
And yeah, how are we gonna? Yeah. Exactly.
We're not in dimension number one. You're not in dimension number one.
Right.
Your fucking preacher is not in dimension number one. So no one fucking knows.
Right.
So quit forcing your views. Like, you know, we're not forcing our views.
No, just respect each other.
Right. You know, it's like
Like,
you and me believe very much the same way, but are you willing to go on a mission trip? Are you going to take a year out of your life? For those of you that don't know, like his wife's over there, she's really hot. Like, are you going to take a year away from that to go spread some bullshit across like a South American land that no one wants to fucking hear, that no one cares? These people will do that. They will take something they have no idea about. The only thing they know is what they've read in the Bible, which is not a science book, it's not a literature book, and it's not the Word of God. For those of you that think the Bible is the Word of God, you are our number one problem.
you are absolutely right.
That is translated from ancient Hebrew to Latin to English. So you're not even the English. We're not even the fucking first translation.
And shit's been excerpted out of it.
Oh yeah, like the
been
Book of
changed.
Enoch is completely gone.
It's gone. Just don't want to put that one in there.
If you don't know about the Book of Enoch, it states, it doesn't really say if it was paranormal or extraterrestrial, but it states 200 beings not of this earth descended upon the earth, and after about 4 years, they took to mating with humans.
Yeah.
This was in the Old Testament. This is in the Old Testament of the Bible. I'm not talking out my ass. You can go read it.
Look it up.
And they say that they had sex with human women, and it created the Nephilim, which are giants.
Yep.
And in the Bible, it tells us giants roamed the earth. They may have. They may have. You know, I don't know. But for you to believe giants roam the earth, but then not believe us, the ghost is real, fuck you, bro.
Yeah. Well,
like, fuck you.
And the thing about, if you want a Christian view on the Nephilim, go look up a gentleman on YouTube by the name of L.A. Marzulli.
Yeah, he's intelligent.
He's a Christian man, but he will give you a Christian opinion on it. If you want to really know if you want to know about extraterrestrials and the Nephilim and stuff like that.
The thing I enjoy about him is he gives you his theory.
Mm-hmm.
He gives you, and his theory is very religiously backed, and that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Like, I love his theories. I love listening to him. And one thing I read that he had said that was fucking brilliant to me was the fact that Nephilim, they could be considering a 6'2" person a giant.
Absolutely, especially back then.
Right. So
You know,
it's
yeah.
like, for all we know, these people were 6'2" or they were 9 feet.
Yeah, because the whole NBA would be Nephilim.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They
Like,
would. And
yeah.
we have found skeletons between 7 and 12 feet, all considered like ancient Nephilim.
Yeah.
I got news for you. Like, back then, many humans lived together as one. Some of them were only 2.5 feet tall. They were Homo florentia. They were from the island of Florence. And a full-grown adult male only grew to 2.5 feet tall. It's a fucking hobbit.
Yeah,
It's a fucking hobbit. You can go to the Lord of the Rings and look at the fucking hobbits. That is based off skeletons found in Florence, and they were 2.5 feet tall, and they were not deformed. They were not midgets.
They were normal shaped,
Yep.
proportioned humans, just small.
So when you look at something like that, when you look at the Nephilim, what do you think it was? Like, what's your opinion on this?
It's so hard, man. One of those things, like you were saying earlier, though, they could have been 6'5".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which we can go to the gas station right now and see somebody that's 6'5"
You can.
now. You know what I mean?
You
6'5" is not uncommon anymore. But back then, that was massive.
Yeah, and I think maybe, like, with the Nephilim, with these offspring of the gods, and that this is something that drives me crazy. So when you're talking about ancient alien theory, when you're talking about Von Erich or any of them guys, Chariots of the Gods, lowercase g people, like, no one is fucking claiming an alien was God.
Yeah.
No one is claiming aliens came down here and built the fucking pyramids. I'm saying it's highly likely.
That we had some help, yeah.
Right. Though, I mean, there are blocks, that weigh anywhere from, 2.5 to 300 tons.
Right. On the top.
Right. And they're lifting these things.
Right.
I mean, maybe it was a really fucking smart person. I don't fucking know. But if the person smart enough to build the pyramids was just a person, dude, we lost everything.
Well, yeah,
we lost everything.
Because, I mean, you have the best engineers in the world
You did.
now with the best equipment we have in the world now, and they say we still can't build those.
You can't. And where a lot of people lose this at, where a lot of people say we could fucking build anything they could. No, we actually couldn't, because my background is engineering. I studied to be a structural engineer, and I'm telling you, when you put something heavy on top and you're going to support it with two smaller blocks, the center of the gravity needs to be at that seam.
Right, it has to be.
They have to equally support the weight of that upper object. In the tombs in Egypt, we see the seams way the fuck on the left, way the fuck on the right.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It would mean that about 6 inches of rock is actually supporting close to 1 million pounds, while the rest of it is, taking the lighter load of the block.
Right.
It's ass backwards.
It is, and if we even get into, like we were talking about earlier, even the smaller details of the entire hallways of those things being lined with red granite, and completely smooth red granite.
And if you're not familiar, red granite does not come from anywhere less than 600 miles away from Egypt.
Correct. And then the fact that all of the hallways in them are harmonically tuned to different frequencies and stuff, to where it's...
I've seen this deal. So they have 5 different temples all across the world. These things are fucking thousands of miles apart. They're all harmonically tuned to 110 frequency. I don't know how to tune nothing to nothing.
Yeah.
And like I was in charge of building oil field equipment that put everyone's lives in danger. And they trusted me to structurally know what I'm doing, to composite the frame for this thing. And I'm telling you, all of our monuments from the ancient days blow my fucking mind. And we watched this deal today, me and Heather did, and they said, we're going to show you how the Egyptians did this. We're going to show you how they raised obelisks, how they built the pyramids. And the first thing they do is they say, well, in ancient Egypt, this would have took so much time using shovels that we're going to use a bulldozer to speed the process up. And so they bring in this bulldozer, and it builds the ramp that they're actually using. And I'm like, experiment over, motherfuckers.
Yeah, you didn't do that with a shovel.
Right. Like, the scientific shit we do have to explain how the pyramids were done, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, that's a bulldozer.
Yeah.
That's fucking iron. And oh, man, this is the thing we need to get into. So they say back in the Egyptian days, they were not smelting iron. They did not smelt any iron back in the Egyptian days.
Yeah, it didn't exist. Right.
But we excavate, Tut's tomb, and there's all these fucking iron and metal things.
Yeah.
And the new thing that they're coming up with is they figured out you could melt meteorites.
Right.
Like meteorites would come to the earth. They figured out you could melt them, and then you would get metal. Well, in my opinion, if you can figure out to melt a meteorite, you can figure out to fucking melt a block of obsidian and get iron out of it. You know, like if they could melt a meteorite and make a sword, how are they not smelting iron? They know the basics of alchemy.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I mean, there's a steel sword in King Tut's tomb 1,000 years before we were melting steel.
Yep.
Fuck you, bro. Like, even if you got it from a meteor, you fucking smelted steel.
Yeah.
You made it. You made it from nothing. And when they figured that out, that's like a game changer. When you figure out metal, like, everything's different.
Everything.
What do you think about the whole... I don't know. I may have told you about this earlier, but they found this granite sample. And it's like this 10-inch piece of granite. And they found it in a temple 3,000 years old. They take this thing to Boston College. Boston College scientists go over this piece of granite. And they say, well, all these rings are on the outside of it because it was extracted with a core drill.
Right.
They measure it out, everything. They say, yeah, we know what this is.
And they said that's impossible.
It's a granite
It couldn't be. It's 3,000 years old.
Right. Like, they didn't have no core drill.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Especially
well,
go through granite.
we're scientists. Fuck you. That was done with a core drill.
Yeah, there's no other answer for it. That's how it was done.
So back in the day, who brought the fucking core drill here?
Yeah.
Did we have it? And this is something that drives me crazy. Even, like, I'm very pro Ancient Alien.
Oh, yeah, no.
Very pro. They were here. They had hands in it. But I'm also very pro humans are smart as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
And back then...
To a fault.
Right. Back then, we may have figured out some technologies or some ways to move rock that are lost to us. And so you'll never hear me say, Egyptians did not build the pyramid. Egyptians may have built it, but aliens told them how.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was a hand in it.
How the fuck do you go from living in a mud brick house and then there is a pyramid? Because a lot of people don't know that there's no timeline between these. There's no time where we're like, oh, we evolved from living in these mud brick teepees made of skin and mud and rock to this giant fucking pyramid. Like, it just showed up. It just showed up.
And, everybody is always like, oh, well, the pyramids were tombs, and actually none of them were tombs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Never found a fucking dead king or pharaoh in one of them.
No, they've actually all been quite a ways from the pyramids.
Yeah, they're in the Valley of the fucking Kings.
Yeah. So they didn't build them to be, to be burial sites.
Right. Not only did they not build them to be burial sites, they turned an entire town into something called the Valley of the Kings. If you're not familiar with the Valley of the Kings, every ancient pharaoh on record has been excavated from there. Like, we know they were there. Every pharaoh was buried in the same complex. So why the fuck would it be a tomb? Like, if a pharaoh doesn't get it, then who does? I mean, who's going to get this temple that aliens built?
Well, the same thing with the Sphinx. The Sphinx makes just almost, if not less sense than the pyramids because of how did they carve it and how did they shape it? And
I heard a deal where they were thinking that now it may have been, what's the dog from back in the Egypt day?
Yeah,
what the fuck is that dog?
Oh my God, I can't think of the name of it.
Heather, who's the dog person from Egypt? He has the face of a dog with a long snout. Back in the Egyptian days, there was an Egyptian god, and he had the head of a dog. Yeah, I know. Well, whoever that is, they think that's who that was first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they were saying. When the
Romans came or whatever happened, something got Anubis. Something got fucked up with it, and so they kind of just salvaged it into the human face. Right. They actually think it was Anubis, and the one on the other side of the Giza complex they think was Anubis. And they both faced guarding the entire complex.
Well, now they think that they found 4 different chambers underneath the Sphinx that are wide open.
Well, the one that's under the front paw, they think it may have like a vast library. So if this is what I don't get, we dig up these ancient texts. The Bible is taking from Hebrew text, like it's translated from Hebrew. Well, when we have other Hebrew texts saying like, well, this happened and this happened and this happened, why don't we translate them and push them like we do the Bible?
Right. It's because everybody's got it so embedded now on everything the Bible says is true. If anything comes out now that's different, it questions everything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you can't do that or it destroys civilization. I think that's the hang up.
Yep.
Here's the hang up is like back in the day we had to have religion. We're talking a fucking society of people that killed, plundered, raped.
Yeah.
I mean, ancient day was a motherfucking violent place to live. It was out of control, and they were just trying to not have people dead all the time. They were trying to get some sort of order, and the only way to make that happen was basically say, not only do we control like your mortal being, but we control your afterlife. Like if you don't do this, even when you die, we're in control.
Yeah, you're fucked either way.
If you look at it like that, like when you die, you're still not in control.
Right.
If you believe the Christian way, when you die, You aren't in control of shit. Your conscience isn't in control of shit. You ain't doing shit. And that part of it fucks me up because you've got all the ancient texts that state your conscience is well fucking good to go after death. Somebody told them that, or they discovered that some way, and I think you've got to take something for what they did. They mummified the bodies for a reason.
Correct.
Don't know what it was, but they did it for a reason.
Well, because your first instinct, I'm thinking back then, my first instinct would be somebody passes away, okay, let's throw them in the ground. You know what I mean? It's not going to be...
Most people would.
Right. It's not going to be... It's just going to be a disposal.
Circle of life.
Exactly. It's going to be a disposal. You know, instead of a big ceremonial...
This is just a theory, but I've thought about this. So, the ancient Egyptians say they preserve their body to live in the afterlife. And we have text from the Egyptians where their gods told them, we're going to return back to this earth. We're going to come back. And when we come back, if you've preserved your body, we will be able to resurrect you.
Right.
So to me, they're telling them, preserve your DNA, because when we come back, technology will be there to resurrect you.
Right.
And so all it takes is one tooth, one fingernail, one skin flake, and, you know, Pharaoh Ramses is back.
Yeah.
Back in action, man, making fucking temples out of rocks. You know,
no help whatsoever.
Motherfuckers are just blasting temples out of mountains with chicken bones and copper. Like, can you imagine if, like, you're an ancient Egyptian and you show up for your first day on the job and there's this huge fucking mountain and they hand you a piece of copper, a hammer, and a chicken bone, and they're like, yeah, we need a fucking 7-layer deep 9-room temple just carved out of that. And we've only got a few years to get this done, so let's get on it.
Yeah.
It makes no fucking sense.
Well, even like we talked about the other day, Machu Picchu, stuff like
Yeah.
that. The pyramids in South America. You know, they make just as little sense as the ones over there.
If not more. Like, they've got El Kukulkan, this fucking flying creator serpent that is just flying around this motherfucker creating shit left and right. Like, how do we know that's not right? How do we know Kukulkan didn't, like, descend and do exactly what the Mayans said he did? What if he descended and was like, well, you don't grow crops like that. Dig a ditch from the river over here and then you'll water your crops. Well, don't do that way. You can make a mark right here. Look, that's a 1.
Yeah.
Somebody had to teach them.
Well, and here's the thing. Who's to say it wasn't the same exact person who helped the Egyptians?
I think it is.
I do too.
I think it is. I think we got one motherfucker that came down, like God, I guess you could call him. I mean, whoever you want to call him.
The higher power.
Whoever is smarter than us, back in the ancient days, he came down, and so, like, when he's in South America, they see, like, this trail of smoke and fire of the spaceship coming down, and they're like, holy shit, look at this flying serpent that's showing up
100%.
here. You go to Egypt, and the culture's different.
Yep.
And so when they look at it, they don't see it as a flying serpent. They're like, look at this star descending from the heaven. It's a star. But to the Mayans, it wasn't a star. It was a fucking serpent.
Right.
And I like the serpent better.
Mindset.
And I like the Vikings. Like, I like the Vikings. I like Norway. I like Denmark. I like that time period. And for me, it seems goofy enough to just pick.
Oh, yeah.
Just pick. And so I'm picking Odin.
Oh, yeah.
I'm picking Odin and I'm picking Thor.
Right.
Like, those are my my shit. Those are my jams.
That's it.
Like, if you fuck me over, I'm going to pray to Odin, and then you're going to get, like, a hammer or a lightning bolt in your face. Because they told us that's the way it works.
That's what's going to happen.
If you smite somebody in the name of the Lord, bad shit will happen to them. Like the she-bears. These we can't get off into the she-bears, but motherfucking bald men casting she-bears down mountains.
Yeah, I don't.
And then we're the crazy ones. We're the fucking ones that don't know. That's the funny part. Is my wife has some family, and these are devout people of Jesus.
Yep.
Not even the Lord, Jesus. Like, one time I was like, praise the Lord, and they were like, no, don't do that. Don't praise the Lord. You don't praise the Lord. He reincarnated into Jesus. You praise Jesus. Like, they got on to me for praising God instead of Jesus. And I'm like, who the fuck is this middleman in my business? Jesus is nothing more than a middleman in my fucking business. I see it that way. It's like, okay, so he stepped in to, like, save the sin of mankind. Well, who the fuck asked him to do that?
Right.
Who the fuck asked you to come here and put up your crosses that mean nothing? Like, Jesus was crucified on a cross. Well, so were people for 3,000 fucking years before Jesus ever showed up. Right. So were thieves. Yeah. So were murderers. Jesus was fucking crucified because he was a criminal who would not quit opposing the Roman government.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line, he was a rebel that thought the Israelites were the chosen people of God. If you are the chosen people of God, then why the fuck were you the Egyptian slaves? Why the fuck, when you finally got free from that, like, the whole seas parting thing.
Right.
You can part the seas and then walk for what, 100 million miles on ground? Or you could fucking use your magic to make a boat and sail. Like, none of it makes sense. None of it.
Make you an ark.
Right, and the motherfucker made an ark, you know, but before that, he had to part the sea. Like, did this motherfucker not have shit going on or what? Moses cannot decide if he wants to walk through water, if he wants to build arks,
or walk on it.
Yeah, and then you get...
You can walk on it, too.
Let's not forget the ability to... And that's something that kills me, that's like, scientifically, if you drop something with more density than water, it falls.
100%.
Jesus was a human being, so he's greater density. So my thought is he used magic. I think he used optical illusion. Like if you took
David Blaine?
Yeah, if you took David Blaine to Jerusalem, we don't have a Jesus. We have a David Blaine. That's who we worship. All hail David Blaine, because I saw that motherfucker make a Hummer disappear, and he told me God and all the watchers really want this Hummer to disappear, and then they want me to jump over the Grand Canyon. Yeah. And I'm like, no, they don't. And then he does it, and I'm like, they did.
Oh,
they did.
You were right.
We got to be just like the ancient people. Yeah. Like there's no tricks to turning water into wine. It just happens.
Yep.
There's no tricks to making Hummers disappear. You just make them disappear.
Right.
And then you got like the magic schools from back in the Egypt day. So, like, a regular school wasn't like what we think of school now.
Right.
It was closer to Hogwarts.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and all you motherfuckers out there need to understand this. Back in the day, school was closer to Harry Potter than it was like a real school. They went to a thing called magic school. And the priest would teach them to do things to defy Earth, to pretty much hold your congregation's attention. So you can me and you could walk up to people we don't know right now and be like, hey, quit talking about this. Quit doing this. This is the real thing. And everyone's going to be like, who are these two motherfuckers?
Yeah,
like,
right.
You know, like, these two motherfuckers don't know shit. But if we walked up and I was like, hey, watch what me and Brett can do. And we, like, levitated some cars. And then we walked across a river. And then we made a staff turn into a snake. And then we brought 1 million locusts that only ate the Egyptians. Motherfuckers would start listening. You know what I mean?
They would believe us at that point.
And that's how they got them to listen to them, was they racked their brain.
Yeah.
And it's a scientific thing you can do. Like, if you're ever in a situation where someone is outdoing you, if someone is bringing up just knowledge you don't know, if someone's talking about things you don't know, you can just start bullshitting about something they don't know.
Absolutely.
You can just start being like, oh yeah, well, did you know that in 1777, because we already know that motherfucker don't know because he wasn't there. Yeah. And then you just start spouting off bullshit, and then everyone in the room thinks you're smart.
Yeah.
And
because
it's like,
nobody knows if you're right or not.
Right.
So
and and so there's like all these motherfuckers. I'm like watching people think like, oh, this guy's really intelligent. And then I'm like, how does he know if any of this is real?
Yeah, he could be just blowing
This
smoke.
motherfucker was born in 1987. You know,
right.
Like, how the fuck did he know? How the fuck? And even on like the paranormal side, there's something to it, because there's books, movies, somewhere this idea, somewhere this thing happened.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there was like a million other people that were like, oh yeah, I know about that too.
Yeah.
So if people didn't have paranormal, like anything in their body, they never had it happen, they don't think it's real, why the fuck do they watch all the movies and shows? It interests them for some reason.
Right.
You know, History Channel does not make Ancient Aliens because no one wants to talk about aliens.
They show it damn near all day.
They do. And it's because people want to talk about fucking aliens.
Yeah.
People want aliens to land out there. If you don't want an alien to land here and say like, hey, bro, there are so many fucking planets, like, get in, I'll take you, you're fucking crazy. You're stupid as fuck, because if an alien shows up and is like, hey, you want to go to Jupiter? I'm going to be like, yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go to fucking Jupiter. Because we're going to find out where them rings are.
Yeah.
We don't even know if those are there. You know, like, I was thinking about it the other day. How the fuck do I know Saturn has rings?
Yeah.
Do you know Saturn has rings?
Nope.
Heather, Shauna, does Saturn have rings? Do you know that for a fact? See what I mean? Nobody does.
It's not a fact.
Nobody does. Just because some fucking dipshit says he pointed a telescope at something and it had rings of gas on it. What if the government just wanted us to believe that? What if, like, way later in the future, there's like some plan that involves like a planet having rings? You would need to put that way ahead of time.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe we got stuff like that going on. Maybe there's stuff in our society that seems fucked up because it is fucked up. It's not real. The government just told us it's real.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of when it comes to I posted something on our page the other day about the whole.
What's our page's name again? Hey, everybody, go add this Facebook page. What is it?
It's just aliens, conspiracy theories, and the paranormal.
Yeah, you should add that on your Facebook immediately.
Let me see here. Yeah, it's where it is at.
Because you'll be able to find the podcast there. You'll be able to find lots of cool shit there.
We can't see it. Alien, conspiracy theories, and the paranormal.
But what you'll find when you go there, and what we're really after, what we're really trying to do here is nothing more than make people understand they're not alone, they're not different. You're not fucked up for going, man, that's really weird. The whole heaven and hell thing.
Yeah.
Like that, it just doesn't add up. You can't be punished for something you don't know.
Right.
And that's what kills me, is it's like there's all these fucking people out there that are like, you're going to go to hell if you don't do this. Well, just because, like, Joe Schmo Preacher Bob said this, I have to believe it or I go to hell. Like,
right.
That doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't make sense to me.
In the paranormal world, what do you think happens, like, at death? You've done a lot of paranormal investigating. You've been involved with a lot of that stuff. I know nobody knows, but at the moment of death, you take your last breath, your body's no good, what happens?
It's hard to tell. You know what I mean? I think if you're completely at peace, there's no like we talked earlier. It's a consciousness.
Right.
Where does your consciousness go? Does it go to another realm? Does it go like our spirits, your consciousness that's stuck in a purgatory?
Right.
You know, who knows? Nobody knows the answers to these questions. You know what I mean? And that's.
But you've seen firsthand that something goes on.
Oh yeah.
Something more like on planet Earth goes on than what, like, I think we're told.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's so much more that goes on in so many different aspects than what we're told. You know what I mean, there's so much kept from us.
So if you were to go do an investigation, say we were going to go, like, investigate a paranormal, activity. There's activity at this house someone thinks is paranormal.
Right.
From what I understand, the way they try to, like, explain it away is ways that, like, you can't really tell. They'll say, like, well, that's kinetic energy.
Yeah.
Kinetic energy is something you can't physically see.
Right.
So kinetic energy explains this thing falling off a wall.
Right.
How come it's not an explanation that, like, a normal person can understand? They can't even put that in terms.
Right.
For me and you to understand. Like, for a normal person, either a spirit knocked it off the fucking wall.
Right.
Or something else did.
Right.
What is it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like that's my problem is it's like even if we have science, it's like science isn't like far enough, I guess, to answer my questions.
Right.
Because like when you look at stuff like take any of the take the ancient Mayans for example, like you have this civilization that basically erupts out of nowhere, and then it ends out of nowhere.
Like overnight almost gone.
Right. It's just done, and then they're looking all over the place, and they're having a hard time finding people with these Mayan mummies' DNA.
Right.
So they find this Mayan, and they're like, oh, so this Mayan mummy's preserved. They check his DNA. He's only about 1,000 years old, and they say, well, there's got to be lots of people around here directly connected to this individual.
Right.
His DNA was basically non-existent.
Right.
Like there wasn't people with it. There wasn't anything in the records that shown this particular Mayan DNA. So that leads me, kind of with DNA to the point. Do you think DNA has anything to do with paranormal or extraterrestrial type stuff? Do you think like human DNA, do you think it was ever intertwined with one of the two?
I mean, it definitely could be, especially when you go to like the Mayans are some of the most mysterious people that have ever been on the planet.
Yeah, they were.
People talk about the Mayans being mysterious, and then people who really get into it when you talk about like the Anunnaki.
Oh, fuck, the Anunnaki, some of my favorite.
You know what I mean?
Let's
Like,
get into some of that.
With the elongated skulls and...
Okay, so these elongated skulls. All human fucking skulls have a suture in the front of them.
Right.
Every fucking one of them. You're not a human if you don't.
Right here.
So why don't so that we have elongated skulls that do not have these. They don't have them. They never had them. But yet science tells us all human beings will possess this. What the fuck are these elongated skulls that don't have them?
Right. Well,
are they non-humans?
And then you got people saying, well, they wrap their heads at birth. That's what makes them elongated.
And
like
and that's correct. There are people that do that, but they still show the suture.
They still have it. Almost looks like a vein.
Right.
In the middle.
They band it, but it doesn't get rid of where naturally the two plates of their skull fuse together. In my opinion, the reason there's not a suture in that spot is there was never a natural spot for two plates to fuse together. That was one solid plate, and it's that way because they're a different species.
My thinking is I think the Anunnaki and the Nephilim are kind of in my opinion, they may go hand in hand.
Well, they were both giants.
Yeah.
So that's the first kind of key to the Nephilim connected to the Anunnaki is when you look at the temples, when you look at the carvings, just all the depictions, they made the Anunnaki at least twice the size of humans.
Oh, yeah.
In every one of them.
Yeah.
The Nephilim were said to be twice the size of humans. There's a story from North Dakota, and maybe South Dakota, but there was an Indian tribe, and they had this story that there was a land of red-haired giants. They sailed across the ocean, got out. They were a bunch of motherfuckers would not quit treating the Indians like shit, and they trapped them in a cave, started a big fire so they couldn't get out, then shot arrows into the cave till they were all dead. So they say this is like I think it was Hopi Indian is what I think, a Hopi Indian tradition. Crazy thing is, in the early 2000s, we make an archaeology discovery of a cave, and it has over 40 bodies, all of them 7 foot tall or more, and they all had red hair.
Yeah.
So it doesn't quite seem like a myth when we're digging up red-haired fucking giants out of a cave.
When it's like, oh, hey, here they are.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's more stuff like that. You know, you go back even further, and they had some stuff with the cosmos. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but they basically predicted some things that would happen in our future with the planets and the sun and everything, and every fucking one of them came true. The eclipses, the comets, like everything that these Anunnaki kind of told to humankind this is going to happen.
Right.
Some of it didn't even happen until the year, 1966,
yeah.
But it happened.
Right, and that's the thing with that. Well, again, if you are a person of Christian value and Christian views, watch L.A. Marzulli's The Watcher series.
That is a good series.
And, I mean, he's got, I think, 13 of them now. And it's all Anunnaki. It's all Nephilim. And it's the Christian views on it. But he has valid points, and he does some of the best excavations and has access to a lot of things that most people don't have.
Right. A lot of things that I think people don't have is just the information.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we know for a fact, it's in our archaeology record, that back in ancient times, there was some big problems with church and state.
Right.
And separations of church and state. Enter, kind of the time of Pharaoh Akhenaten, and most ancient alien people probably think Akhenaten, as like a extraterrestrial force that ruled on Earth.
Right.
But I had a whole kind of different theory on it. They were already having problems with separating church and state. The priest had way too much power. The Pharaoh didn't have any. I think Akhenaten said, we are going to worship the sun god only, not all these gods, just one god.
Right.
And he picked the one that was not connected to the priest. So what he's essentially doing is saying all these people the priest talked to don't matter anymore. So don't go to the priest when you need to get married. Come to Pharaoh Akhenaten, and I'll front you the money for a nominal fee,
right.
Of
right.
repaying
Absolutely.
back. And it all goes back even to the ancient times of value.
Yeah.
Everything was to increase your value, whether it was military value, monetary value, it was to increase your value. Everything back then was based on what is your civilization worth?
Right.
What not only your gold, but are your people divine?
Right.
Back then they thought people were divine.
Right.
You're connected to God. Because the blonde hair, blue eyed things, we're two blue eyed, blonde haired dudes sitting here, and we'll tell you right now, both of us think Hitler was full of shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Neither one of us think an Aryan race is superior to jack shit, but it's what we are, and so it interests us just like it interests people that do Ancestry.com.
Right.
I'm interested to know what my history is.
Right.
Why am I here? What did I come from? But because of the society we've created, I'm a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white American. So it's kind of you don't have it bad, motherfucker.
Yeah, you can't have it bad.
You don't have all this bad shit going on, and your past may have fucked up my past, so you don't get to explore it.
Right.
But we're gonna explore our past. That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah. I get
And
that.
I'm not wanting them to look at anything as far as these people better than these people or not, but I want to know what the fuck was Hitler thinking? Why?
Yeah.
Why did Hitler think that these blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryans were something special?
We're superior, yeah. Exactly.
I mean, because we're blonde-haired, blue-eyed. I don't know if we are. I don't know if I am or not.
Yeah.
I would like to find out.
Yeah.
Even if the answer was you're the stupidest fuck on
I
planet
have
Earth.
my answer.
Right. At least I know. Because right now I just have these broken up pieces of history. A broken piece from Egypt, a broken piece from Rome, a broken piece from Moses, and a broken piece from Hitler. And all of them claim there's something up with blue-eyed, blonde-haired people.
Right.
So if there is, we're not going to get to the baseline of figuring things out till we can come together as a species and understand that, say there's a Spanish person, a African person, a Norwegian person, a British person. It does not matter to me.
Right.
I truly see us all as the same individuals. We are all meat bags that
Absolutely.
a conscience fucking inhabits.
Yep.
And when we die, all our consciences become the same thing. Whether it's a spirit, whether it's a ball of light, whether it's a conscience that is collected in energy that is in the cosmos. It doesn't matter what you believe. You believe when we die, we're the same thing.
Right.
So why are we not the same thing when we're alive?
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't get that about society, and I don't think you move forward as a society until you kind of break some of that. Religion was great. It helped us establish our society, but it's holding us back.
It does, absolutely.
It's holding us back from every facet of like Earth moving forward. I feel like it's held back by religion.
Yeah.
You know, because
No, yeah.
even technology, you know, it's like if they come out with a technology that said, okay, we can now go back in time and see what happened on any given day. If they said, let's go back and see what happened the day Jesus Christ was resurrected.
Right.
The Christians would not want to do that.
Absolutely not, because in their, you know, this is what they've read. They don't know for sure, so that they're automatically going to go, oh shit, what if that doesn't happen? Like, what if?
You think that's what faith is? You think faith is the explanation for that feeling that you don't know?
It is. I think it's.
I think it is too. I think it is too.
Exactly what it is. It's that pit in your stomach that goes, this could all be horseshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and there's some people that were raised in church that believe because they had that feeling they're going to go to hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's sad. It's fucking sad because I have that feeling every day. I walk outside at night and look up and I'm like, how do I know that's a fucking star?
Right.
How the fuck do I know that's not a government satellite that they put up there?
Yeah.
You know, 100 years ago.
Right.
You don't fucking know. And to say we have hard scientific evidence. We have hard scientific evidence that just furthers theories, that just furthers thoughts. We don't have anything that definitively says an alien exists because of this.
Right.
Ghosts exist because of this. What about a ghost? So, do you think what about the term ghost? Like we wrap it up as a ghost. Like we call it all a ghost. And it's not. They're not all ghosts.
No. And I mean,
I don't even know that a ghost is a thing. Like, what's a ghost?
A ghost to me is almost like a nickname. You know what I mean? It's almost like
like
a
dude.
Nickname. It's a nickname for a spirit or a consciousness. In my opinion, you know what I mean?
It's not a man. It can be a guy, a dude, a bro.
Yeah. So it's not a spirit. It's a ghost.
It's a ghost.
It's a consciousness. You know.
Because Walt Disney has ghosts.
Yeah. You know
we can make money on ghosts.
It was something that somebody thought up and it stuck and.
Yeah, like everything else. That's what everything is.
It is.
Everything is something somebody made up and it stuck.
Yep.
Like a ghost. The first person to say ghost. Imagine how that conversation went down. So there's two people in ancient times. They're talking and
smoking a blunt back and forth.
Yeah, probably some peyote. But man, so in ancient days, they understood how to get down.
Oh yeah.
This always drove me crazy because so in the Christian writings and some of these writings that's out there, they call it. They were having drunken, peyote-filled orgies.
Yeah.
Saying they're celebrating life, but we know they're celebrating Satan. And I'm kind of like, a peyote drunk-filled orgy sounds badass.
I'm in.
Like, it sounds badass.
Yeah, put me in, coach.
Why is that bad?
Yeah.
So, why is an orgy bad?
Because the Bible says so.
Right. So is the reason an orgy is not accepted is because the Bible says so?
Where else does it? I mean, what's any other reason?
I guess none, because maybe, okay, so 50% or more,
yeah.
I guess more,
yeah.
50%, 51% of the country believe you can't have an orgy.
Oh, yeah.
But talking from personal experience, orgies are fun. You wake up the next morning and you smoke a joint and go to IHOP, and then you talk to your wife on the way home yeah, that shit was tight.
That was dope.
And then you pick your kids up and it's over, and you never talk about you talk about it when you're having sex, later that Friday you're like, hey, remember this or some shit, but it's it doesn't control your life. To someone that believes this shit so desperately, that would control their life.
It would ruin a life.
What about this? So, do you realize we can be arrested for just naturally being however we came into the world?
Oh, yeah.
If you were to walk outside naked, you could be arrested.
and put
even though our species was born naked. Like, like none of you motherfuckers were born with clothes on.
Yeah.
So what the fuck makes you think we have to have clothes?
Or the fact that me and you could walk out without a shirt on and be fine.
Right, but a woman can't.
It's
no,
bad.
their titties feed babies.
Yeah.
We got to cover them up.
And they can't do that either. They can't do that.
No,
that's frowned upon.
we got to build some special rooms at our workplace
so they can breastfeed.
Yeah. So do we build cows special fucking places to nurse their children? Do we build these great places for kangaroos to like come in so their babies can hop in their fucking pouches and roll around? No, it's fucking nature. It's the way it's done on this planet. There's motherfuckers out there fucking the way things are done on this planet.
Human life is the best thing and the worst thing that has ever happened to this planet.
Yeah, and according to a lot of people, like, human life itself is divine as fuck.
Right.
Which is the most arrogant thing you could ever think. So, if you're out there and you're thinking, you know, humans are the center of creation, you're fucked.
Right,
you're
yeah,
fucked.
absolutely.
You are no more special than a gray alien or a fucking dog turd for that matter.
Yeah.
You're matter. You are matter occupying Earth. When you die, I don't get to take this cool microphone Spotify sent me with me. Like when I die, this fucking thing goes in the trash. When you guys die, like your family will keep some heirlooms. The rest of it gets auctioned off to the highest bidder. What about an estate auction?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about a estate auction? Okay, so this fucking person spent their whole life selling time to the company, 8 hours at a time, selling their life away, just to get all this possessions, all these fun things that don't mean shit. They don't mean shit. Like, if you own a brand new Ford Mustang GT, does that affect me? Should that ever affect me?
It should not.
But there's people out there that'll be like, man, Brett's my friend, and I ain't got shit. I ain't got a goddamn thing, and he's got a Mustang, man. Fuck him, because he don't do shit. And I do it all. I'm fucking working my ass off every day.
Right.
So is everybody else, motherfucker. Like, really, you know, people that do this pity party bullshit.
That's the problem with today anyways. Everybody's like, hey, I want shit. If he has it, I should be able to have
Right.
it too.
Like, it's
go
owed.
get it like he
it's
did.
owed. It's
Yeah.
owed to me.
Yeah, exactly. Go get it like that guy did then.
Something that kind of keeps me grounded a little bit with some of that is like I'm poor. And I'm not poor because like we have a house and we have gas in our cars.
Yeah.
And so like there are people that are fucking poor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's ridiculous that we have these monastery castles. We have like Drake owns a castle, Lil Wayne owns a castle, Tom Brady owns a castle. These are fortified walls or gated in places, just like the ancient days. They gated in. So Tom Brady and his family is separated from the outside world. Drake and his family are separated from the outside world. Like, I don't have a compound. You know, we're not poor, but we're not rich. We don't have a compound that I can build fences and keep people out.
You know what gets me even more than that is these massive churches.
Oh yeah, dude, I could go on forever for these money conglomerate motherfuckers.
Life Church, shit like that. Life Church that has one preacher and he does it over a fucking telecast, and then does it to the entire country. Then they have a concert the rest of the time.
Right. and I got a fucking big news flash for you. Church can be done on $0.
Absolutely.
$0. Like, if there's people out there that hear this, that listen to this and say, well, you just don't have the right information, or if you would come to my church and listen, I will go to any church.
Yeah.
I will listen to anyone, but we will not do it in your mega multi-million-dollar money-making preacher fucking babies.
Giant jumbotrons.
We're not doing that. Like, fuck no. If your preacher will put your church's financial statements on the altar.
Yeah.
How much could electricity cost for 1 month? How much could running water cost for 1 month? A preacher gets a huge salary. In my opinion, if you're going to lead a spiritual revolution, if you're going to lead any kind of like spiritual, organized anything, you can't receive money for it.
Right.
It's not right. The preachers should not get money. You can have a church in my living room every Sunday morning, and we'll take turns with people that want to speak.
Absolutely.
You know, coming up and talking.
And I think it would work better.
It would work better because we're not going to send around plates that say, give us your money.
Absolutely.
These plates require 10%. Not only did God want your money, but he figured this motherfucker down to a percentage. You know, like God knows what percentage you should be given this multi-million-dollar building. Like for us to continue to fly to South America and fuck with everybody about believing in God, even though we have no fucking right to do that. Right. The missionary shit is the worst thing to ever happen to human civilization.
That's like the guy missionary that tried to go to that island a while back and then got torched right as he got on the beach.
Didn't work out too well, did it? And I no human deserves to die. I don't like the violence of that situation. But I like the knowledge of that situation.
People have tried to approach that island before, and that you can't. Just leave those fucking people alone.
Right. And if they're believing in 8 gods, so the fuck what?
Quit pushing your shit on them.
Go back to America.
Quit pushing your shit on them. You try to push your shit on them, and you get hit with 8,000 arrows.
Yeah. Some of them were lit on fire. Like, they didn't only want to shoot your helicopter down, they wanted to burn it.
To the ground.
And I would too, you know, like, I don't blame them.
It's one of those things, I guarantee in their mindset, it's like, get the fuck out of here. Leave us alone.
I bet you it is too, because probably, and this is where I get out of my realm because I'm fixing to just talk out my ass. I don't know shit about Aboriginal shit.
Oh, yeah.
But in my fucking opinion, in my opinion of things, like an Aboriginal from Australia or Africa, they had their own shit going.
Yeah.
They evolved. Okay, if you believe in evolution or you believe in God, either one. This being right here came from a monkey or dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? To buy this notion that like man was created from the dirt seems absurd. But to tell me I evolved from a monkey and there's still monkeys, I'm like waiting on the chimps to evolve.
I'm sitting here waiting on one of this.
Like they're like, you motherfuckers
on my door.
Yeah, y'all evolved from chimps, and we're like, well, what about all the other chimps? Like, are they gonna evolve?
Are they stop? Yeah, like a Pokemon.
Yeah, we playing Pokemon Go up in this motherfucker. Maybe Earth is like Pokemon Go.
It's what it is.
Maybe there's energy centers.
The whole time.
Yeah, so like there's spots on it. Now we're gonna get into some Pokemon Go theories because say Earth has natural energy, and these natural energy spots are like where you spawn at. It's like that's why the Egyptians were so fucking into like shit being at a certain place at a certain way, and like if you didn't do it that way, the contractor came out and was like, how are we gonna spawn shit? We ain't gonna be able to spawn shit here. We ain't gonna be able to do shit here because you turned it 3 degrees to the left, and it's gotta be lined up with fucking Orion, or we can't spawn Squirtle. Like, if we can't spawn Squirtle, we can't go to the next level. So it's fucked from the word go. And even looking at it like something like Pokemon, I don't know that it's not like Pokemon. There could be aliens up in the stars right now with cards.
Playing us like fucking
yeah, and it's like Magic the Gathering.
I got 3 of these. Turn that bitch in.
Yeah, it's fucking like
evolution.
Whoop. Aliens are nerds. Like aliens are big time fucking nerds. They hate sports. Like they hate football. They hate OU. They hate Florida State. They're like, fuck all this shit. They hate the Thunder. They like spawning Squirtles and Pharaoh Ramses. Like, what if Pharaoh Ramsey and Pikachu is the same thing?
That's just the badass. That's
this is just the one. This is the one that like spawned the hardest. What if we spawn harder than everybody else? What if we evolve harder? Like, what if we just try harder? If I try harder, am I going to evolve as a better monkey than the other monkeys?
That's true. I don't know. That's a very valid question.
All right, so maybe from this day on, we'll start an experiment. Me and Brett are evolving, and evolving hard. Let's evolve hard.
Yeah, I'm hard as fuck.
Yeah, like that. You know, and even the term hard as fuck. Like, we had to get hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, humans had to get hard as fuck.
That's true.
Because you could just be chilling in your temple worshiping the sun god, and a Viking just cuts your fucking head off and steals your gold, and then they leave
Savage motherfucker.
off in the sea, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and then some preacher's like, that goddamn devil just strolled up in here and stole our fortune, stole all our gold, stole all our silver, our gems we got from the fucking Incas, like, took it all. Took it all. And if we don't pray hard enough, they're going to come back. We got in this conversation earlier. It's somewhere where there is a difference. I mean, there is a little bit of a difference here. So, you believe in prayer, the ritual of prayer.
Right.
You believe like it serves purpose, that good things come from it, whether it be self-manifested or whether it be like actual intervention. Do you think prayer is something that matters?
I think it depends on the person. I really think it is, because the reason I say that is because I think it is, a lot of it is right here.
Right.
It's like you said, I think a lot of it is self-manifested. I explained to you earlier the one time where I did it, and it was and it could have just been fucking perfect, ironic timing.
But it didn't feel like that.
It didn't feel like that, because I mean, it was literally 12 hours later.
Right.
You know what I mean? But other than that, I really think it is a peace of mind thing for people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It explains the unexplained, and it gives them hope. It's giving them hope.
100%. And people need that.
People do need hope, because some people are not strong enough. And that's something we've got to understand as humans are. This Christian shit, this ideology bullshit is in deep. And it's in deep that we're probably not going to get rid of it, but we may evolve some of us out of it. And the first step to like evolving out of this like revolving door of bullshit that will become your life if you believe this. Just think about it like this. You're a conscience. You're a living, thinking conscience. Like
right.
you can think right, wrong, and every one of us believes we're intelligent. Even the stupidest fucking human.
Yeah, even the dumbest people still
believe they're intelligent. And it's because that's the way the human mind works. And so when you're talking like the human mind, it's the first thing we've got to master.
Right.
So society's beginning.
Yeah.
We're hitting shit with rocks, and like we realize, holy shit, this rock is softer than this rock.
Right.
So it won't do anything. This rock is harder than this rock.
I'm gonna fuck that rock up.
Right. So we can start creating things. Like, to decide that, it took a human conscience to problem solve and work these things out.
Yeah, put two and two together.
Yeah, there was no God. There was no Jesus. There was no priest. There was nobody. Like, in the caves, in the Stone Age, there was nobody telling a human conscience, this is right, this is wrong.
Right.
You know, they believed in many gods. They believed in no gods. They believed in a lot. What about those people? Are they in heaven?
Who knows?
Is everyone before Christianity in heaven? Because Christianity is actually a pretty new fucking thing. Like, for those of you that don't know,
absolutely.
If you look at the timeline, Christianity's new as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, this is new business to us. It's basically saying 20% of us, if you were born after this date, get in heaven.
Yep.
But if you were born before this date, you're fucked.
You're fucked, sorry.
Hey, did y'all know that hell is full of people that were born before Christianity was there? Yeah, because they didn't know. Nope. Poor
They didn't know about it, so they
poor bastards are just burning every day. 4 or 5,000 years worth of people. 4 or 5,000 years worth of people just burning every day.
Hookers every day.
Yep. And who says hell's bad?
Who knows?
Nobody's ever been there. No one's ever been there. Kukulkan?
They call him the god of evil, and he's the god of knowledge, though. How is that evil?
Because knowledge is evil. Because knowledge will prepare you for
100%.
the bullshit that the people controlling your life are trying to get you to live by. And the crazy thing is like if you're a religious person and like you denounce God, you say like, I've been a Christian for 20 years and I don't believe that anymore, and I'm not going to. Nothing changes for you.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's not going to be like,
you have to wake up tomorrow and go to work.
Yeah.
You have to wake up tomorrow. And guess what? When you wake up, you're going to be pissed. Because waking up sucks. And you know what's going to happen? Shortly, you're going to realize you have to go to work.
Yeah, it didn't change
And
anything.
at work, there's this fat, sweaty fuck named Albert that smells like fuck, and he is a fuck. And if you're a chick, like, he likes to rub up on you. If you're a dude, he likes to talk about the OU game when we all know he didn't watch it because Mark Clayton has not been on OU's team for over 12 years. But we appease this fuck because he's our boss.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, this is the dumbest fuck we've all met. We all know this dumb fuck isn't in charge of shit.
Yeah, no.
Like, we could punch him in the face and he would fall down.
Yeah.
We could call him on his bullshit and know he's wrong. But every one of us live under his thumb because, boy, he gives us that paycheck.
Yeah, you have to.
Got to get that paycheck.
Yeah.
Got to get that paycheck and got to take care of your family.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're me and Brett and you don't really have a denomination. I mean, we both believe in a higher something.
Absolutely.
We both believe something's going on.
Yeah.
We both believe something created us. We both believe...
We didn't just poof and end up here. I mean...
Right, but we don't believe that we're going to be judged on things we don't know.
Absolutely not.
We're not judged on things that the human brain does not comprehend. And the part of it that kills me is Christianity's new. We're talking 80% of humans' existence would not be in heaven. Do you people realize this? Do people actually fucking grasp the concept of from about the 1100s on is only 20 to 30% of humankind? The rest of them are already dead.
Yeah,
and I guess in hell. I guess they're in hell.
That bitch is
Well, then they
full.
don't got no room for us. We've learned... Okay, so what about this theory?
I was damn sure I was headed there, too.
I've got a theory. So, hell is like prisons in the United States. They filled it up with a bunch of dumb shit. All the Christians, like, filled it up with swingers and people that smoke pot. And so now we got no room for the murderers. And so their fucking spirits don't have, like, no room to go into hell. And so they just leave them here, and then they fuck with us. Like, what if that's happening? What if hell is full? What if hell is full of the pot smokers and swingers?
That's what it is.
And the rapists and murderers they can't get in heaven. It's like...
That's what purgatory is.
Right. I can't go to the hottest nightclub in L.A. and just walk in. They'll be like, who the fuck is this skinny white dipshit trying to walk up in the club that fucking Common is in? Like, do you think we're going to let you sit next to G-Eazy, you stupid fuck? Like, it's the same thing with back in the day. Like, the priests were looking at a common man, and they're like, you don't have any money.
Yeah, why the fuck are you here?
You don't have any sheep. You don't have any wheat. You don't have 9 virgins to sacrifice. Like, who the fuck is letting you in heaven?
Right.
And it's still that way today.
It is.
Because that's the way the church looks at it. They pass around a fucking plate for you to put money in. Where in the motherfuck else do you people go every fucking one day of the week that they pass around a plate for you to put your fucking money in blindly? You don't know what the fuck it's being spent for. Blindly put your fucking money in this plate. 10% of it.
And then you got your churches, like we were talking about, your mega churches.
Oh, yeah. They don't even need 10%. They got daycares and Starbucks up in these motherfuckers.
Joel Osteen.
Yeah, he
This dude has the fucking Astrodome that he does his in. The Astrodome that he does his Sunday service in.
I bet when he gets done with his Sunday service, some like really crazy, weird sexual shit goes on.
Oh, dude, there's
like he
probably- yeah.
leaves and an anarchist comes on his face. And, you know, like I bet he's into some weird shit. Like people like that are fucking
It
weird.
just- the thing is, to me, like people like Joel Osteen who,
And Jeff Sessions.
yeah, and fuck Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, fuck Jeff Sessions. And Jeff Olstein.
But people like Joel Osteen, like, pulls up to preach to you in a brand new Ghost.
Yeah, like look what I got, motherfuckers.
And
The
then his wife
Lord.
pulls up in the matching
Yeah.
one.
The
You know,
Lord wanted me to spread the word, but only in this 2019 Lamborghini leather interior loaded Bose sound
Yeah.
system. Like the church paid for his Bose sound system
want
in his
a lifestyle one,
Lamborghini.
too.
Yeah, and then like all these fucking people are standing in front of them, and they're doing things like he says sing, you fucking sing.
Oh yeah.
He says pray, you fucking pray. And it's like, I cannot help it. I'll throw my view on prayer out there. Prayer is words. Look at my words right now. I'm speaking words in a microphone and they're not changing anything. The only thing that changes things is action and bettering yourself.
This is true.
And it like if you want to pray, start making yourself better. And by better, I don't mean society's form of better.
No.
Society's form of better is not better. Better is understanding there is not a difference between races.
Well, yeah.
Understanding is understanding that gay people don't go to hell because they're gay. And you know that's something that always bothers me because it's scientific fact. If you took every homosexual person
Right.
and said you're heterosexual, we would be overpopulated so motherfucking fast that we would not have room on earth for everyone.
Right.
There are things that are natural. There are things that are nature. There are things that are based in nature that are normal population, nature population control.
Right.
It's like nature population. You know, a human population control is giving everybody syphilis.
Yeah.
You know, a nature's popular control is you don't want to have kids because you don't want to fuck a chick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, so you got this group of human beings. These fucking people are no different than anyone else.
Yeah, so they're no different than you and I.
Right.
You know, there's-
They are meat fucking bags inhabiting the earth that they're waiting on their conscience to like move on to the next level. But in turn, they're catching shit from every fucking which way. And it's like, I feel bad. And this may be fucked up for me to say. And like, don't everybody jump my fucking ass because I'm just having like a thought experiment here. You can have a thought experiment without believing it or like it
Right.
turning out to be true. But it seems like the gays have it worse than anyone.
No,
Dude,
I mean,
they're fucked by everyone. Like literally, the Christians don't like them. The Muslims don't like them. The normal person grew up with a father that said that's wrong.
any religion, for the most part, doesn't like them. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, and it's like,
why?
yeah, you're judging. Like you are judging. You are judging another human being.
And then, you know, your really strong Christian-based people will be, oh, you know, everything's forgiveness, blah, 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 no judgment, this is no judgment, blah, blah. When they tend to be the most fucking judgmental people you can even think of.
Yeah, they are. They are the most judgmental people you can think of. And it's like,
Because Christians, I'm not calling you wrong. I don't know if you're wrong. You know,
I almost do.
But you know what I mean? We were talking about it earlier.
right. You can't claim it.
Right.
Because it's not there, but it's like, you know this
You know what I
isn't
mean?
right.
You know what I'm saying, exactly.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying. Am I saying you are wrong? No.
Heather.
Is that your point of view? I don't. Yeah, cool. You know what I mean?
Going to pee.
He's got to take a leak.
That means you're gonna.
Check in.
Well, you know what we're talking about.
Well, I wasn't listening.
We were talking about gay people having it hard.
Yes. The number one thing I've always been confused about, I guess, in my faith was if you're a good person,
Right.
just because you're gay or lifestyle or whatever you decide to do, if you have a good heart, how do you go to hell?
Right. And who is to say that? Who is to make that decision for you
Exactly.
rather than just, if you're a good fucking person, I don't care who you have sex with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's nobody's business.
But when you go to almost every Buddhist, not necessarily Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, they all, gay is not right.
Yeah, and I don't.
Who says?
I don't know. And
I mean,
I always just followed it when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I'm like, this is just ridiculous. It's not.
Absolutely. Why? Why can it not? Oh, I mean, like I said,
If you have a good heart.
Obviously, I'm straight. That's okay. That's my choice. But if that's not your choice, and like Cody was saying, if every person on this planet was straight, we would be so overpopulated, it would be unreal.
It would. That's true. And I mean, I'm a bisexual person.
Right.
So I just don't. And I'm a good person. I have a good heart. I feel like I have a lot of love and stuff.
Right? I mean, it just is what it is. Everybody's attracted to chicks.
But
chicks are dudes.
It's still the same thing. So if it's not right, it's not right.
No,
according
absolutely.
to these people.
You're going to hell.
I just can't believe that I'm going to hell.
No, I get that, and that's what me and him are kind of on that subject of like, why? Who says that? Just because somebody says that okay, that means.
But I spent a lot of my life believing that as
Absolutely.
well,
Most
with
people
with no reasoning behind it.
Absolutely. No, it was just like it's a blind faith. It's
It's a blind faith.
That's what I was told, so that's what I believe.
Right.
And for me, it was always one of those things where like I think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they're wrong.
No.
Because I don't know that for sure.
Right.
But me being a thinker, I just try to think outside the box, and I'm gonna form my own opinion, and that's what I just try to ask everybody to do.
And I think that's a great thing. I'm not someone that will. I always had a box and I stayed in it.
Yeah.
And that's something I love about Cody. Love about your personality
Right.
is I like the people that think outside the box to bring up these questions because they're important. Why would we suppress all these questions forever and not try to find an answer to it?
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of answers out there that we don't know about.
100%, and probably will never, to be honest. And that's the thing that it's like, me and Cody and you, me and him will talk about the questions that most people are too embarrassed to ask because they think it's dumb. Oh, I can't. Should I even be thinking that, or should I even the ghost stuff or the paranormal stuff or the alien stuff? Like, oh man, people are gonna think I'm crazy for thinking about this or knowing this or whatever. Fuck it. I think you know what I mean?
I love the stuff the paranormal stuff that y'all are into, and you have your wife involved in it as well.
Absolutely.
And like that's something that absolutely people are gonna look at you like you're fucking crazy or that's not true. But you know what? When you're passionate about it, people believe it.
Right.
When it's real, people believe it, and I love that you came out with that.
Oh
so
yeah, and
great.
it's one of those things where you kind of keep to yourself because everybody can have their own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I value your opinion. Just don't shit on mine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, okay,
that's cool.
I don't give two shits if you believe me. Because where you don't believe me, there's 5 other people that do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I'm not doing it for your satisfaction. I'm doing it to answer questions for myself.
Yes, and I love that.
You know what I mean?
love that. But there's so many people that just aren't okay with that.
Absolutely.
That, they're so stuck in their faith.
Yeah.
To where some people want facts. And I like the people that want facts. I am a faith person as well, but I love you people that want facts because it helps open your mind and open those questions up that people are too afraid to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the reason it brought up to me was I had questions that were for me, and I was like, do other people, I know other people have to have these questions.
Shauna? Yep. Come on.
Don't make her do it.
I have, when I have these questions in my mind, like, are spirits real? Are ghosts real? I know I'm having these questions. So how many other fucking people are having these questions?
All of them.
Yeah.
So let me do what I can to try to answer those questions for the people who are too scared to go answer those questions for themselves.
And I love that
You know
so
what I mean?
much.
Like
I'm glad we have you people.
That's what it was just.
I like engineers and...
I asked your wife this a while ago. I'm going to ask both of you, honest answer here. It's not a debatable question. It's not something you can elaborate on. It's a yes or no answer. Right. Do you believe in God?
Man, it's not a debatable answer.
Nope. It's just a yes or no.
I believe there's a
You
creator.
can't. No. There's no separation of a Bible God versus a spiritual God versus an earth God. Just is there a higher power that is in charge of humans?
You just have to. I believe in the universe, and
I don't know.
I don't know.
Nobody does.
No, I don't know that answer.
Nobody. I mean, anybody that would yes, no. Well, you don't know shit.
Yeah,
you don't know. I believe no, but that's just me. You know what I mean? That's just my theory. That's just
for
what
me,
I
don't
think.
pray to one.
For me, it's I don't know.
I don't pray.
I said I do.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
But not everybody has to. I'm not saying there is or there isn't one.
Oh, you're correct, and you can mumble all the words that make your heart happy.
Exactly.
And that's what I think it is.
That's
That's what I think it is I think prayer is a heart healing, conscience healing fucking band-aid.
It is. And
I think it's a band-aid and it's a good band-aid.
It may not be a band-aid.
It's a good band-aid. It's a good support. It's a good.
That's what we're talking about. It gives people hope. That's what we were talking about earlier.
It's something that
I
in
think
your darkest
everyone-
hour, that like as a human conscience, you're falling apart.
You can lean on.
If you don't know what your conscience falling apart is, you ain't fucking lived. And you ain't loved because
There's been no struggle.
Because of her in particular, I can think of many times where like I literally felt like the inside of my conscience was not going to exist anymore. If we keep going down this path, if we keep pushing her to here and we keep pushing me to here, our consciences cannot coexist. You know, they can't do it. Me and Heather still to this day will fucking get in it. Like over a conversation like this.
Yeah.
Like we will get in it because like she's
a strong personality. I'm not. But I'm not gonna back down from what.
Right.
She believes in love.
She
believes in love. And she believes in love hard. And love between living beings, love between humans and inadequate objects. Like love to her is a strong emotion, and it dominates most of her thoughts, most of her theories, most of everything.
Right.
To where I think love is a manifested emotion from electrical charges of the brain.
Yeah, but when you've pushed a baby out your vagina and had that baby lay on your chest,
I pushed that baby in your motherfucking vagina while we're bullshitting.
I need science to explain that. That's true love.
While we're bullshitting about science, I had this living, swimming, intelligent creature.
Millions of them.
I
only had to swim in
I'm so smart. My sperm
all my organs
have
rearranged
fucking
to grow this
200
baby.
IQs. These
So
bitches
what the fuck am
know
I?
exactly how to get to the egg.
I don't know what true love is.
Track
I
race.
just carried a baby inside of me for 9 months.
That I gave you.
I never fucking want to switch places in that.
I don't want to switch places in that either. Like we're not squeezing 8 pounds out my dick hole. Like that ain't happening. Fuck all that.
You know, people. I feel like everyone has a high that they love, whether it's from drugs or from life or from sports or whatever
God.
you do, from God, whatever it may be.
Lots of people get high on Jesus.
Like
every
having
Sunday,
a child
that goddamn
your brain
human.
releases the greatest fucking shit.
It's
ever.
called dopamine. It's an actual chemical that is an electrically induced charge that is sent to a specific point of the brain at a specific time that you are feeling a specific way.
True
and okay, true love, anger, any of that.
So then what happens to your soul?
People that won't come set on my camera.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, well, I wasn't here for that. So what happens to your soul whenever you die?
We talked about that. We don't.
What happens to your soul when you die is the same thing that happens when fish turn into bears. We don't know. we don't know. But in my opinion, what happens to it is there's dimethyltryptamine released when you die. And for people that don't know, that's DMT. And it's in your body, it's in your brain at all times. Your brain is full of it right now. Science and personal experience tells me you can take one hit of it and basically rip your fucking conscience out of your body, put it into space, meet entities from a different dimension, and them show you blobs of clay looking shit. and tell you that's humans. That like that's what you are. That's everyone. That's a black person. That's a Spanish person. That's a white person. You're all this dirty fucking stupid clay that is made into this meat bag body that your conscience is gonna fucking inhabit for about 60 years. And then the real fun's going to begin.
Right.
I think it's the beginning. I think humanity is the base beginning. I think what you're doing as a human is preparing your soul and conscience to go ahead and move on to the next level. And I think if you tie it to Jesus and God, I'll go as far as to say that I think if you tie shit that deeply into that one belief while you're here on earth, you are probably going to be reincarnated and placed back on this earth to figure it out.
You're an anal bead.
Yeah, you're going to be rammed back up the universe's asshole like a 12-inch dildo with a stupid fuck that doesn't understand humans are the same right on the tip of it. And like when you go in, like you high five people, like you high five people like Hitler and stuff, like on the way by, like we're all just in the reincarnation chamber, bitches, doing this our whole life. And in the meantime, my consciousness sees the tunnel of light, and I know that's a trap. And I see this like figure of my loved ones, and I see these projections of Jesus Christ. And he's at the end of this tunnel, and he's like, this way. This way's heaven. This way is gold fucking streets. Like, heaven is not something you can physically touch, but somehow they got gold fucking streets. I can touch gold. I know what gold is. It's fucking valuable. So quit getting your money and your fucking value in heaven.
Yeah.
You know what? If there is a heaven, it is not a place lined with gold streets because no one gives a fuck if you have gold.
Yeah.
It's not.
It doesn't even fucking matter.
It's not a place where if you sat back at one time when you were 9 years old and went, "Is there a hell?" that they kick you out of.
Right.
It's not a place where like you go and you see your mother and father or people that have passed away and you reconnect with them and life is grand and everything's great. I don't believe in that at all. Do I believe you meet their conscience? Yes. I believe you can go meet whatever the fuck conscience you want. I believe once a conscience is created, it's created. I don't think it's created. I don't think it's created by God.
Yeah.
I don't think conscience is.
Our bodies are not, but our conscience is.
I don't think the conscience is created by God. I really
No, I said
don't.
it's immortal. I said we are immortal.
Oh yeah, your conscience is immortal. It don't go anywhere. Your conscience operates in your meatbag body by electrical charge. When it comes out of your meatbag body, it works with static electric charge from the earth itself. And for lots of people, that may be like the dumbest shit they've ever heard, but there's a lot of shit when you go back into the ancient day that states they had power from the earth. They may not have had electricity like we had, but they had devices and they had things that could be powered from natural earth energy. And when you look at the ancient sites, they conveniently form a perfect grid around the world.
Oh yeah.
So we got this egg-shaped world. This world ain't even. And oh man, we gotta talk about this for a second because it drives me fucking crazy. So
oh, yeah, I'm good. We're talking.
We're fixing to talk about something really important because Bruno, back in the day, Bruno states, all you fucking people are crazy. You're fucking nuts. The Earth is not flat.
Yeah.
It is fucking round. The Earth is not the center of the center of our solar system. The sun is the center of our solar system.
We're just a planet on this motherfucking chain.
And we just move around it. That's all we do. And they burned his ass at the stake.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church, the Pope, he gave orders to go get Bruno. And they asked him at the stake to recant his beliefs. They said, in the name of the Holy Lord, recant your beliefs. Recant the things you just said. Do you fucking people realize what would have happened had Bruno recanted what he said?
Oh, yeah.
We moved forward scientifically. We moved forward in every way because Bruno burned to death. Can you imagine? My sister burned to death. That's something not a lot of people know. is I had a sister that was 3 years younger than me, and she was an albino, and she was something different. She was some other spirit. She was some other conscience. She was something different because she was like fucking incredible. She was the only person in my whole entire life I've ever met that truly did not let other people bother him.
Yeah.
You know, she was just like hindered from handicap from the word go and never bitched about it. Like, and she tried to understand. Like, she knew she had red eyes, white skin, and white hair.
Right
And she knew it was fucking different. And she knew there was a reason. And she knew DNA. And she knew genetics. And she knew things are different.
Right.
For a reason. Right. Whether it came in her sleep or what. Like, she was in a lot of people don't know this either. When she was 15, she was in a car wreck and was in a coma for a year. They didn't think she was going to live. At the end of the year, she comes out of it, doesn't even know she was in a coma.
No shit.
She feels like she's been awake and having like conversations with people that don't even exist. But the thing is, they do exist. They were in her conscience. Whether they were her own manifested.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
People communicating with her unless someone stepped in and helped. But bottom line, like she burned to death. Her best friend's newborn baby was in a house. She was staying the night there, and the house caught on fire due to like a faulty electric panel. And her boyfriend at the time had Parkinson's disease.
Oh shit.
So he's not even physically able
to
help people out of the house. And I mean, he did good to get himself like to the front porch. My sister actually makes it out, realizes the baby is still in there. Cops, firemen, everyone's yelling like, don't. She hauls ass back in. She got that baby all the way from its crib, which was upstairs, all the way downstairs and like 2 feet from the back door. And then, you know, the smoke inhalation got them, and they both passed away. But it kind of like ties back into the whole Bruno thing. Fire can surround you. Fire and traumatic experience can surround a human, and they will not break their belief.
Oh yeah,
they will not do it. My sister never once like seen it as fire will burn you and kill you. Her belief was there's a newborn baby in a bed and the house is on fire.
I have to go get it.
Fuck the cops.
Absolutely.
We got to go get this baby. And she was trying to do that.
And I think anybody in their right mind would try that.
Right. And so like I was sad because my sister was gone, but I understood.
Absolutely.
And my way of thinking, I think, helped me understand because I didn't see her as gone. I didn't see her as like she wasn't a Christian, so she's not going to heaven. Like I didn't see these things. I seen a person who cared about other people. I seen a person who was so different than everyone and realized it, but also realized it didn't mean anything. She was a state cross-country runner, like one state and shit in cross-country. Couldn't even see 5 feet in front of her, legally blind. But she understood with her feet, she could feel the ground. She could know the track. Same thing with Bruno. He felt that shit.
Right.
He knew that shit. He knew the fucking Earth was not the center of the solar system. And when people were burning him with real fire and his real, think about it, his real human skin is melting off of him, all he had to do is say, I'm making this up.
Yeah. And
I'm making it up. And that would have stopped. And he didn't. He said, burn me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Burn me.
Absolutely.
You know, like, because, and then 1,000 years later, he's 100% right.
Yeah.
He was burned for no fucking reason.
Because he just questioned.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
He said, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
This makes more sense.
Yep.
And they said, nope, you're a witch, you're dead.
Yep.
And what actually he thought made more sense was correct. So 2,000 years from now, how do I not know that the things you tell me about the paranormal aren't correct? They might, I mean, right now it may not be scientifically certified or accepted, but 1,000 years from now, like, people look at flat earthers. People look at flat earthers and go, what a bunch of dumb fucks. You realize we were all flat earthers?
Yeah.
The entire world. Every single person's great grandfather thought the earth was flat, so you're all fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And your families are stupid.
Everybody's fucking
right. If that's the way we look at it, then you and all your families are fucking stupid.
Absolutely, I get that.
Things change. You know, the earth isn't flat. We realize that. We realized how fucking absurd It was that
Just
we
sell
were
off one end of that
burning
motherfucker.
motherfuckers for saying it, and we were like, okay, the earth is round. I get it.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do about the fucking 10 million people you burned?
That were fucking contradicting your bullshit.
And they do it now. Like, Christians could not physically come in my house and burn me at the stake. But you know what they could do? They could blackball you from things they own, and Christian business is huge. Most big business is operated by a Christian owner.
Mm-hmm.
And if he decides, like, look at Chick-fil-A.
Hobby Lobby. Yep.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A ain't going to sling their chicken on Sunday.
See that?
Fuck you, Chick-fil-A.
Well, did you see they're not even opening for the Super Bowl in the stadium?
Yeah, like, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't want your fucking chicken anyway.
Dude, you cook up some bomb-ass chicken
It is
bites
delicious,
and
bro.
some waffle fries, and then you tell a dude like me we're not open on Sundays because we got to rest, man. We got to rest. We was our ancestors was creating earth, God was creating earth, and we rested on Sundays. Motherfucker, on Sunday we play football. If you think the church owns Sunday, you're sadly motherfucking mistaken. The NFL owns Sunday, bitches.
Boy, that is no lie, too.
It does. It's not a lie.
No,
Fantasy football is the biggest
Oh, yeah.
money-making, like, sports financial thing there is right
Oh,
now.
it's unreal.
And you go to a Buffalo Wild Wings on a Sunday morning when Tom Brady is flinging that rock around.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody like, you know, the fucking Jaguars or some good defense that year is playing, you can't get a seat.
No, absolutely not.
And this is at 12 o'clock on a Sunday. I'm looking at a whole lot of people not in church.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Whole lot of people not
And
in
you go
church.
to any of the B-dubs, the garage,
Yeah.
any place like that.
Anywhere where we got some football and some fucking liquor.
Yeah. Oh, it's open, and it's going to be packed.
That's
And-
my religion.
And, you know, you got people now
Fantasy
that,
football.
You got people now, though, that, like, fantasy football's brought in. These people don't even fucking really care about football.
No.
They're not even there to watch the teams. They're watching these individual players playing it as statistically
Because
trying to
they
make
want to
money.
win some money. They
There
want to
you
win
go.
some money.
Yeah,
They get some money.
3 years ago, my fantasy league needed one more person to jump in it. She jumped in it with me because, fuck it, we need one more person. She had no absolute clue, any idea about who any of these people were. She went in the draft and just literally went off statistics. Literally just went off numbers. No names, I had no idea. Just those, okay, cool. Ended up playing me in the championship game.
And so y'all got all the money.
We got all the money. I mean, I whooped her ass, but yeah. It was,
You got the money, though. That's the theme of the earth is money.
Oh, absolutely. And it's, as sad as that is, it's true.
I wish I had some money.
I need
You know,
more,
like
yeah.
I sit around here and talk shit about it, but if somebody gave me $1 million, like
Oh, yeah.
I would take it. And I've had multiple people here lately ask, like, so if you had like a GoFundMe or you had anything, and I have to cut them off right there because I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't. Never. I mean, I'll give you my word. If I was ever like famous, if I ever became famous, I hope people like pull this clip off the internet and play it back for me to show me that like I wasn't gonna get all fucked up and shit. And I really wouldn't, because I would not take the $1 million and then like do something fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I would pay off my bills. Like
Right.
that's all I want. I want to quit.
I want to live comfortably. And
Right, I want to quit having to like shell out this money for bills. So like this house is a rent house we're in right now. So like literally I had to make an agreement with another human being, like this land on Earth. Even though this is planet Earth,
Yeah.
this small fucking 1,400 square feet
Yep.
is mine. And if you want it, and you want to live in it, and you need a place to live, you gotta pay me some money.
Yep.
You know, give me some money, and you can live on my little piece of land. And it goes all the way back to like the ancient days.
Oh, absolutely.
If you wanted to live, you can't live. You can't just go live on Earth. So
No.
if me and you decided right now, we're done. We're done. We are done with money.
Yeah.
We're done with God. We're done with all that stuff. Like, we're just done. what do we really like do from there? Because there's nowhere on Earth that's not owned.
Right. I say there's nowhere you can just go and.
We can't just say, well, we're going to drink that free water out of the river,
Yeah.
and we're going to enjoy that free sunshine.
No, because somebody owns that water.
Somebody owns the ground, that dirt.
Yep.
Somebody owns the dirt. How's that set with you? There is actually a way to own the dirt.
Yep.
You can own the dirt.
And whatever runs through it or sits on it.
Yeah, or flies over it,
Or
man.
flies over
we
it.
got airspace now. Like air is a thing, and
Right.
the government owns
Yeah.
it. Like the government is owning air, and they're regulating air.
And you go pay $1.25 at a gas station to put air in your tires.
Right, and for anyone that knows how an actual air compressor is constructed and how it operates, you are basically paying $1.25 for something that turns really fast.
Yeah.
And
It just pumps the air into the
it's
boat.
just turning really fast.
Yeah.
And you can do the same thing. Like, they knew back in the ancient days, like, air was a thing. It's a power. Air
Yeah.
is a power. You can air power things. But how crazy was it when they figured out, like, air was a thing? So you're in ancient, like, Egypt.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, there's this fucking guy, and he's an engineer, he's a designer, he's a priest, he thinks about shit. And out of nowhere, he's like, air is a thing.
What is this?
Air is like this. And people don't realize it, but like, I'm holding chemicals in my hand right now. Like, Cody has chemicals. And there's other people that know more about chemicals than me.
Right.
So they combine two chemicals. It makes something. And instead of it being like, okay, we can use this to fix this and this to fix this, the first question is how much that costs.
Yeah.
How much can we get for that?
And it's the first response for everything now. Is how much does it cost?
Right. And it's usually a lot. Things cost a lot.
And it just keeps going up. The cost of living is unreal.
And what's minimum wage?
$7.25.
Like, holy shit.
No
Get
fucking
down on
way.
that for a minute. $7.25.
No fucking way can you live on that.
And we're talking humans like me and you. We are talking human beings. We are talking people that have no difference in the president. There's not a difference in Donald J. Trump and his crazy fucking ass and like a homeless person.
Right.
They both have a heart. They both have a brain. They both have skin.
Questionable.
Well, I guess the difference would be that very moderate $1 million loan that his father loaned him as a young man that helped propel him to greatness. So here's kind of my thoughts on President Trump, because I'm actually a fan. I like President Trump, but the reason I like President Trump is because he just says shit.
Oh, he don't give a fuck.
Right, like, you know, it's like he's not a person that sits there and thinks like, well, if I talk about a wall, will it make the Mexican people mad?
Sometimes he should shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
in his position, the position he holds, you have to have a filter. Some
Right.
people enjoy the fact that he doesn't have a filter. But
Right.
It's gonna get him fucked.
Yeah, it is.
The fact-
And you know, they say President Trump is going to get us in World War III. No, he's not, because the majority of us ain't shooting nobody.
Hey, he unified Korea. I mean, he was part of unifying Korea,
Yeah,
which
and-
was kind of a big deal.
And Korea is South Korea and North Korea for a reason.
Yeah, they have it's one of the most dangerous places on the planet where those two meet.
In Korea, like, even if you take it down to like a Korean level, like, I would love to know about Korean culture. I would love to know about like the Korean past, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in America, that's not a. I'm so into aliens and other things. Like, when I do have time to research things, it seems like I research neuroscience and, you know, I do aliens a lot, neuroscience, paranormal, just because of some of the stuff I've heard from you. I've looked into a lot of the paranormal stuff, but like with Trump and where he gets with the Mexican people, it's like you're creating an enemy.
Absolutely.
And not all white people are rapists, but I do know white people that are rapists. Just like all
100%.
Mexicans aren't rapists,
It don't
but
matter
we
what
know
fucking
Mexicans
color
that are
you
rapists.
There's
Right.
pieces of shit of all colors.
Right. And so, like, if you want to build a wall to protect our country, I'm all for it. Because I like America. I like to feel safe. And so one part of me is like, yeah, I'm all for this wall. I'm fucking way down on this wall.
Right.
Because it seems like a way to regulate
Right.
what's coming in and what's coming out. But on a secondary level, I'm like, you bitches are doing this so wrong and you're doing this so fucked up that your wall is creating more problems. The wall divides more American versus American
Absolutely.
than it does actually separate, like, a Mexican from walking into our dirt we own. It's making all these Americans either pro-wall, anti-wall. Then it creates Facebook groups. Then it creates Twitter.
Social
Fucking
media
wars.
dude. Social media and CNN and fucking all
Fake
of your,
news.
All of your bullshit is unreal. Like, I mean,
Yeah, but CNN really is fake news.
and
Like,
so many people just eat that shit up.
they do. And I caught a lot of shit for this here not too long ago when I was talking to somebody. But like I truly believe when shit hits the fan, like I don't care what it is. When shit hits the fan, I don't think we will hold our positions as like Americans.
Right.
I don't think we'll be all one united America.
Oh no, fuck no.
I think if shit really hit the fan,
Yeah.
if shit really hit the fan,
You talking about like end of the world type
right,
fucking
the rich would take care of the rich,
oh, absolutely.
the middle class would bang with the middle class, and the poor would be fucked.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hate it. Like I hate it, and I don't know how to change anything.
I mean, in all honesty, when it comes to that shit, it's not. I mean, that's
Right.
the way it's gonna be.
Yeah, right. You can't change it, but it doesn't stop the fact of me laying there at night going, is there a way for one human to change it? Because it's fucked. It's fucked.
No, and like we talked about the other day, the only human who has changed a massive amount like that is Martin Luther King. I mean,
Yep, words are just words that like come out into the universe and do nothing. People can talk shit on you all they want. They're just haters. Like a hater is a hater for a reason.
Yeah.
Because
we all have them.
you hate other humans because you hate yourself.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like the haters, you're not going to get past it.
No.
But for me, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking stuff like, well, there is a problem in Mexico. They're coming over here for a fucking reason. Because it sucks.
Yeah.
And if it started sucking here, I would leave.
I would go somewhere else.
And
It's
it's human
starting to
nature.
suck
That right. It is starting. Maybe they're the ones that should build the wall.
Yeah, bro, y'all stay there. It's fucking true.
Yeah, that like maybe the Mexicans should build a wall and us keep all our Christian dumb shit here in America because we are the main perpetrators of the bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what upsets me more than anything is it's like our government, our people, our citizens, we are the biggest.
We're the biggest issue.
Right, we're the problem. And it's like we can't see this as a whole because we want to either support Trump or not support
Well,
Trump.
and everybody sees it as I'm American, I'm better than the rest of you.
Right.
Why the fuck?
What the fuck is better about you, motherfucker?
Yeah, actually, most of them are probably better people than we are.
Right, like, and I've thought about that. Like, you go somewhere where the technology and just the media and the bullshit has not touched, and those are pretty pure places.
Absolutely.
And those are pretty nice places to be, and those people are just fine without the white man landing on their land and converting them to Christians. And it
Getting
seems
hit with 1,000 arrows.
Yeah, we went through this period in time where we got this fucking obsession, dude, and we're talking obsession. Like, priests were obsessed with talking to colored people about God.
Oh yeah.
And I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I cannot bang this out in my head.
Yeah.
I cannot level it out where like that makes sense. That makes sense that it's okay. Like if I went on like a boat tomorrow and rode to Brazil and like met Brazilian people
Right.
for the first time, I would be so fucking interested.
Absolutely.
Like, for one, they've probably got killer weed and psychedelics that I could probably jump off into. But on a secondary level, they were probably interesting people.
Yeah.
And they probably got interesting, like, religion. They've probably got interesting fucking society.
Which I would love to hear. Like, let's
I
hear
would
your
too.
side of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's kind of like with the Muslim thing. Like that day that I kind of debated back and forth with a guy that was the devout Muslim. He fucking hates terrorism.
Yeah.
And he hates Al Qaeda. Like he's like, those people are fucking morons. He was
a rogue.
Right.
It's not all Muslims that blow people up.
But fake news, CNN is only showing us certain things, and I'm not ever gonna pick a side and be like Fox News is better because Fox is so full of fucking their own bullshit. They choke on it.
They are all full of shit.
But if you listen to CNN, some ridiculous shit gets down. Like some ridiculous shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not even real.
It's just complete horseshit.
And people take it as real. People take three letters. People, these are 3 letters. CNN.
Yeah.
You know what else is 3 letters? MTV.
Yeah.
They are both television networks that make their money off viewers.
If somebody watched this and thought, oh, these 2 guys are important enough to give a TV show, and then we got a TV show like that, people would believe the same shit like that. We would have that same pull.
Nobody would give us a TV show. if I did get a TV show, like if we got a TV show, I would want to be on Vice.
Vice would be the shit.
I would want to be on Vice.
Right after fuck, that's delicious.
Yeah, and I would just want to go fuck with people. Like, I would want to take mushrooms and then, like, go to church.
I want to go, yeah.
You know what we should do? We should trip DMT at the altar.
GoPros on.
Yeah, hey, if there is anyone out there, anyone that may see this, if you know a way to get me and Brett to an altar, so he can light my fucking DMT pipe for me, I'll blast off. Like, I will head to the cosmos at the altar, and we'll figure this out. We will figure this fucking shit out. I will head to the DMT realm. I will ask the entities there, what the fuck is going on with this bullshit? Like, I was at an altar where the preachers talk. I was talking. I smoked some DMT. Now I'm here. You motherfuckers tell me everyone's the same, but when I get back, we're not all the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like, and that's something that kills me, is it's like, you come through Oklahoma City. People act like Oklahoma City is like some small town where you don't see anything. I pass homeless and struggling people on a daily basis, and there's like millions of cars that drive past them. I mean, I'm one of them. I don't ever stop. But I'm thinking, like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way than standing on a goddamn freeway with a sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you got the fake panhandlers.
That's my issue.
Yeah, they cause a lot of problems. So
we got those dudes making 40, 50 grand a year.
Yeah, but what if you play it out like this? Like, okay, so here's this facility. You got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. You come in, you eat, you drink, you talk, you learn. And at the end of that, you don't do drugs. And at the end of those 2 weeks, unless it's weed, I mean, they can smoke
drugs,
right? And that's a big deal. Like even with the drugs, like I'm not willing ever to back off the stance of psychedelics and marijuana and things like that being used in the medical industry, because they treat depression, they treat bipolar disorders. And they treat extreme depression to the point like where people have been gang raped by their family.
Oh yeah.
And they tried to commit suicide and nothing worked. You know what worked? Fucking going on an ayahuasca retreat.
Yeah.
You know, because they did that, and then they come out as a human. You can't look at them as someone lying. We can't assume every human is lying. Look at it for what it is. They told you they did this. And now they feel better. They feel like they can cope with it.
Then guess what? It worked.
Right. Why not give that to everyone that went through that?
Why not make it an option?
It should be an option. And so before we get too far off of everything and we don't even talk about it, I was going to bring this up with you just because I'm interested in it, and I think everybody else like is interested in it too. So you think something, you think, because I think it all starts with just your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So, you think something paranormal is happening.
Okay.
The first step has got to be that human conscience realizing something's off.
Yeah.
So does it realize it? Do these people that have had these experiences, do they know it? Do they feel it? Like, could I have ever had a paranormal experience and not even realize it's happened?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's just, I think a lot of it is people not paying attention to their
To
surroundings.
what's going on? Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we've talked about that when it comes to go outside and look up. Go just lay out there and watch the sky for a while.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to see some questionable shit.
And then what kills me is, like, people will do that and then act like they know what they saw.
Yeah.
I'm looking up at a star. You don't know shit, motherfucker. That's a star because everyone tells you it's a star.
Yeah.
You don't know it's a fucking star. That could be a satellite that the
Because-
government put there 20 years ago. You don't fucking know.
Me and her were way out. We were camping. We were looking. Our top of our tent comes off so you can just see. We're sitting there. We're just chilling. We're watching the stars. We see one come. It's sitting still. It's fucking just. It's parked. That motherfucker's chilling. And then it stopped. Went back this way. Stopped. Went this way. Stopped. And then went out of sight this way. And I'm talking along. And I'm talking. It went. It wasn't like it just went and took off. It was going and it was fucking,
moving.
And it was shagging ass. And I was like, explain fucking that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize either. Like, if you can, like, you see from one star to the other, you see it. That star, that star.
Yeah.
People don't realize how far that is.
Absolutely.
You know what I
When
mean?
you
Like,
see one pass another one, that motherfucker is boogieing.
yeah, like, okay, so that's part of Orion, and that's part of Orion, but these bitches are fucking 100 light years apart.
Yeah, they're not.
And you just watched a light go from one to the other. And it's a weather balloon.
Yeah, it's a fucking weather balloon.
That's the shit that kills me. Is it's like, you can't do that anymore. You can't call it that anymore because I know what a weather, like, people know what a weather balloon is. I looked up weather balloons for like 3 weeks just because I needed to convince myself these things weren't weather balloons.
Well, it's like the battle for L.A. You know?
Yeah, they shot that motherfucker down and it landed in the ocean, I think.
Yeah.
But there's a clear picture of searchlights on a UFO.
Yeah.
And us just blasting rounds off in this motherfucker.
And it not doing shit to it.
Right, it just sits there. And
Yeah.
then what kills me is it's like they talk to, there's like over 1,000 witnesses that seen about 20 minutes after the Battle of Los Angeles, this big light fell into the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a light over there, looks like a star, and it comes down into the ocean. Now there's a bunch of planes, there's Navy boats out there. What the fuck you think they're doing, people?
Quarantining that off?
Yeah, they're pulling the UFO out the fucking ocean
As fast as possible.
onto the Navy boat so they can get it back. That's why they were so good at Roswell.
Yeah.
They had already done it.
It was gone.
And before that, they had probably already done it. You know, think about this. This is Earth. Right now, I can't see what's happening outside these walls.
Right.
How the fuck do I know what's happening in the middle of the Afghan desert right now?
Yeah, or the
At
middle
this
of the fucking ocean. Or...
At this exact moment, there is an Afghan desert so big we can't even hone a satellite in on all of it.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, yep, nothing goes on there. Some scorpions crawl around.
Some big-ass spiders.
There's
and
some
shit
coyotes out there. Definitely no aliens. Don't mind that fucking 8-4. You know, like, they'll make a V. It'll be like a V, a perfect V. And they're like, birds made that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I've seen a bird fly in a V, and they're all discombobulated.
Yeah,
Birds
it
are
might
dumb
be
as
close
fuck.
to a fucking V, but it's
I believe birds are dumb. Birds are stupid.
Dumb fucking creatures.
Yeah, they are dumb fucking creatures. They don't even make V's. They just evolved from dinosaurs. Like, you were a dinosaur, you dumb fuck. What are you doing a bird now?
Well, I mean, I guess they did something right. I mean,
No, they did not. Like, you should have stayed a big lizard dominating the earth. Like,
true, pterodactyl's a lot better.
yeah, like if you're a pterodactyl,
I'd shit a brick if I saw a pterodactyl.
man, if I saw a pterodactyl, I would go inside because there's just no telling what this sketchy prehistoric beast is up to. You know what I mean? Like,
It'd be like Pokemon is
no,
fucking real.
Yeah, Pokemon, or you look at something like Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, fuck that. I'm
So
out.
even the concept of Jurassic Park is we're so badass. We're such badass humans. Humans are so fucking smart and tough and badass
We're gonna bring dinosaurs back.
that we brought back the dinosaurs, these massive living lizards.
So they can fuck us up.
Right, like you bring back a dinosaur, it eats you, motherfucker. It's
Yeah.
not even a thing.
I don't feel bad for you if you bring back something like that and it eats you. That serves you fucking
Right, and really, I don't feel bad if you get ate for anything.
Yeah,
because
no,
you're part of the food chain.
It's-
You're a human that obviously does not belong here. You're a human,
Yeah,
not
your time, brother.
Right, like we're not like dogs. You know, they talk about evolution, but dogs have like 9 million breeds.
Yeah.
That they evolved into 9 million different breeds in
Yeah.
the same amount of time. We
Yeah.
only bred into one.
Yeah, come the fuck on.
Like, it doesn't make sense. We're not the same thing. We're not the same thing as everything else here on Earth, so we can't treat it as the same.
No.
And what do you think about this? So, if that was true, if any of the ancient alien shit is true, and an alien shows up, who is it? Does he look like a gray? Does he look like a dinosaur? Does he look like a reptilian? Did this motherfucker like take some dinosaur DNA back in the day? Like, who is he?
Who the fuck knows?
It's gotta be a
like
gray.
Predator? You know what I mean? Like,
I think.
I hope not. Fuck, that's terrifying.
Yeah, if it's like Predator.
If they come down, the tank full of fucking predators get off something, I'm running.
But what? Okay, so what about suicide?
Oh no, fuck it. I'm going down to the
No,
place.
but I mean like just suicide in general.
What do you mean?
Right now, if I was to take a gun and blow my fucking head off,
Okay.
what happens? Like, is it any different than if you died of a heart attack? Does something different happen? I mean, the Christians tell me I'm
going to hell.
fucked.
You're fucked, yeah.
I
but
mean-
for me, who knows?
Right? I
Are you
mean,
in
you don't
trouble?
know. Nobody
Are you-
does know.
Are you one of those fucked up, troubled people? Like, are you gonna stay right the fuck here? Are you gonna be in purgatory? You know
Well,
what I
I'm
mean?
obviously a fucked up, troubled individual.
But that doesn't mean.
Because I can't reform to the rest of society like
Yeah,
a normal
that's
fucking
true.
person.
That's true. You don't disagree.
And isn't that crazy how we're not the normal ones? Like,
Yeah.
we're not the normal ones.
Because we disagree.
If you look at it, all four of us in this house are so fucking abnormal. All the people on our Facebook page, you abnormal fucks.
Oh yeah, y'all are
You
pieces
fucking
of shit
people.
just like us.
Yeah, you abnormal motherfuckers. Like, do you not understand that you're going against God and Jesus? Do you not understand
Unacceptable.
that there are no extraterrestrials, that there are no unexplained things? Everything is explained by Jesus Christ.
The
I mean,
paranormal's fake.
God damn it, he came
It's all
down
a
here and
figment of
died for your
imagination.
sins. And then they strung him up with common thieves. Like, and that part of it kills me.
Yeah.
Like, the Romans crucified him because he was a fucking criminal. That's what they crucified people for, whether you believe it or not. Like, the Christians can believe whatever they want to. The Romans believed he was a fucking criminal.
Yeah, I said fuck that guy.
Yeah, and I believe the Romans because I like Julius Caesar. He's an interesting fella.
He was definitely that.
He was an interesting fella, and he said Jesus wasn't real. So did Odin. Praise Odin.
Yeah.
And how do we not know Odin's not real? How do we not know the Vikings weren't telling the truth? And Odin and Thor are just constantly coming here with lightning bolts and hammers and defending us from like all the bad people. And if you don't praise them, they'll fuck you over. Like, I don't want... Odin sounds dangerous.
Yeah, fuck that.
Thor sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
I've seen cartoons.
Seen the Avengers. I'm
Yeah,
not
we
gonna
watched
fuck-
Avengers.
Chris
We're not
Hemsworth
fucking
is a
with
scary
Thor.
motherfucker.
That's just it. Like, Thor is an Avengers character to us.
Yeah.
Like, your fucking culture is so funny to us, we made it into a comic.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've seen this deal the other day on it was Duncan Trussell who said it, but like it was a video of these monkeys, and these monkeys had made spears. They had
Oh, no shit.
They made spears, and they were hanging over vines over this river and spearing fish.
That's badass.
And he's like, they're evolving. That's the Stone Age. You're looking at the Stone Age. And I'm like, what the fuck are we?
Yeah,
you
you're
know
like,
what I mean? Like,
holy
are
shit.
we like? Is that how we? Is that what were we monkeys and we figured out spearfish?
And then
And then you just build off of it.
they just evolved out of the... I mean,
All the other monkeys see it now. They know to spearfish. All it takes is one. If one human being was to like say, this is how you meditate, step by step guide. You meditate like this, and then you astral project to another dimension, and you conversate with deities. guess what I'm doing? I'm buying that motherfucking book.
I'm gonna check it out.
I'm following it.
Yep.
And I'm doing it.
I'm giving it a shot.
Just
100%.
like they would have back then, you know?
Yep.
And so when you look at it in that sense, it's like they were just experimenting.
Yeah.
They were doing experiments. And
Absolutely.
we do experiments now, but the experiments we do now are halt. You know, they're stopped by religion and just what we think is possible and not possible. I don't know that it's not possible to be a ghost.
Yeah.
I could be a ghost if I wanted to be a ghost. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I die and I get a choice.
Yeah.
What if you die and you get a choice? Do you want?
Staying here,
You want to stay?
yeah.
You would stay?
Dude,
I'm
it
out.
depends.
I am
depends.
so out.
It depends on what. If I get to see what the other option was, like A and B, do I get to see what I'm going to do, or is it just like, oh no,
like
that's just a chance. You're taking a chance. You go there, or you can stay here and fuck with people.
the chance you take is you get to be a celestial being.
Okay, good point. I'm out.
And like you just get to roam the cosmos, seeing civilizations.
I'm definitely out.
None of the human restrictions are there. Like I'm not coming back.
Fuck no, I'm out at that point.
I heard this deal that was like how you exit the reincarnation cycle.
Oh yeah.
Like once again, don't know if reincarnation's real. Don't give a fuck if it's real because I'm not dead. I'll worry about that when I'm dead. When I die, like I'm gonna worry about this.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because right now I don't worry.
Yeah.
Right now I really don't worry because no one knows, no one can tell me. It is really a thing. Like what is behind door number 3? If the door's closed, you don't fucking know.
Absolutely not.
And that's where we're at as a species.
Yeah.
Is we got 3 doors that are closed.
Yeah.
One is like Christianity.
Yep.
One is a religion, but it's like more of a Buddhist, Judaism-based religion that doesn't involve mankind and some crazy fucking dude reincarnating as God's son and saving all humankind, even though he's a fucking Israelite and the Romans didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, the Romans, when he said that, the Romans were like, we don't want you to do that.
Yeah, fuck that noise.
Like, we don't believe in that.
Yeah.
We believe in lots of gods.
Like,
fuck you.
Yeah, don't do that.
You know, and to me, the Roman civilization is the biggest of all time. I refuse to believe they're all in hell.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like saying, hey, were you aware that tomorrow I have to go get my kids at 1:30? If you were to be like, hey, tomorrow, do you want to hang out, go play some golf, watch some football at like 2? And I was like, nah, man, I got to go get my kids. Mm-hmm. If you were like, that's the most fucked up shit I've ever heard, bro. I'm trying to watch some fucking football. I'm trying to drink some beer and hang out. What the fuck is your problem? And I'm like, dude, I've had this like pre-planned and that's what we're looking at here. Right. It's like we're 2 civilizations met each other.
Right.
One was just kind of like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And the other was like, do what we say. Do what we say or we will wipe you off. Christianity's so powerful, the Mayans and Incas are missing.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're gone.
Like, those people don't even exist.
Right. Like, I'm fully expecting some satellite to shoot us right now.
Would I be surprised? Fuck no.
No, and that's just it, is the world we live in. It's like fucking people put some shit on Twitter sometimes or Facebook. And I'm like, that's illegal, bro.
Yeah, bro. Hey.
Like, that's illegal.
Yeah.
And Mark Zuckerberg, his name is even a front name. No one's named Zuckerberg. No one's named that.
It's like Heisenberg.
Right. The only person named like Zuckerberg was Hitler.
Yeah.
He had a weird name. And you see how that turned out. Like, this fuck is a government front for a massive data collection operation.
Well, and then, like, somebody brought that up on our page the other day about Hitler. You know, about when those CIA files came out and that he was, you know, fucking 10 years after that, he was in Argentina.
Right. Project Paperclip.
Yeah.
If you don't know about Project Paperclip, go look at it. It is a classified, it was declassified now, but it was a government project that basically dug into Nazi stuff and said it's all okay.
Yeah.
As long as you do it for America.
Yep.
Like, you can be a Nazi as long as you live in New York.
Yeah.
As long as you live in Florida and shoot rockets to the moon, you can be a Nazi motherfucker all you want.
The Nazis built NASA. I mean,
right, right. And we'll go ahead and get into that. For you motherfuckers that don't know, Von Braun, the fucking father of rocket science, the person that put us on the fucking moon, was one of the most...
SS.
Oh, yeah, Nazi SS. Not even a Nazi. This motherfucker was SS. That means you help with the Holocaust. You put motherfuckers out. Like, you are an important individual in Hitler's regime that if you want a motherfucker dead, he's dead.
He's dead, yeah.
You know what we did? We said, hey, this is Project Paperclip. Come to America. We're going to give you Florida to launch rockets out of. And then as soon as we're done, you and Walt fucking goddamn Disney are going to do this big special about how we're going to fucking go to Mars and how we're going to do all this shit. And you can look this up. This is not made up shit. Von Braun, within 10 years, was murdering Jews and then talking to our children in America.
Yeah. As he built Apollo 11.
Yeah, as he got us to the moon so the Anunnaki could just kick us back off of it. Like, really, we went to the moon in the 60s. The Anunnaki was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. So we had to. Because, like, you don't just roll up on the moon with a black powder rifle and think you're fixing to bang with some laser guns.
Yeah, I'm out.
And I'm pretty sure that's probably how this goes down.
Pretty close to
like,
it.
if humans ever decide, like, oh, this alien's going to land, we're going to go ahead and fuck with them, it's the worst mistake we could make.
Yeah, we're going to bite off more than we can chew.
Yeah, like, we're so scientifically advanced, we can cryogenically freeze our bodies. Then we take our fucking brains out, and we put them in these gray bodies that don't have dicks or pussies or mouths or anything, because that wastes time. We're out here for scientific development. Sex wastes time. Sex is wasting our scientific developing time, and we've got to get to all the planets and abduct their people and make hybrids and fuck with everybody. And we ain't got time to be fucking, and we don't have time to be getting old, and we don't have time to be having like age wear down on us. So what we got to do is take our brains out of this body, put our conscience
in a different one.
In this weird fucking body that all, like, they all look the same for a reason because it's artificial.
It's a little clone.
Right. It's like if you built this robot and then stuck like a brain in it and it came to life and was like, oh, now I got a human brain and I'm this robot. It's like that same fucking concept.
Well, that's like you're talking about hybrids, you know, like it's a lot of like people when people talk about black-eyed children.
Yeah, them fucks.
You know, like never personally been involved with anything like that, but it's interesting.
It is. And just in case you don't know, now I feel it our civic duty to inform you, if any child ever fucking knocks on your door and asks you for a glass of water, or they ask you for help, you need to look at their eyes, and if their eyes are completely solid black, you need to shut the fucking door.
As fast as possible.
They will not come in. They won't beat on your door.
No, they're like a fucking vampire.
Well, like a lot. They are like a vampire. They're like little 4-foot shit fucking heads that wreck shop. And if you let them into your house, they're gonna bring some evil upon you. You don't want. And we have star children that are the counterbalance to that are bringing a lot of good and light kind of into our world. But at the same time, you've got to be careful with these star children because they're a real fucking thing. Yeah. And if I see something with solid black eyes, I'm not going to trust it in the first place. I think it's an alien hybrid.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
And, you know, like these grays. I don't know who the fuck the grays are, but I don't think they're that special. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because
we kind of put them on that. We put them on that dangerous pedestal, like they're so much different than every other extraterrestrial.
Right. There are extraterrestrials that are like, I think, the predator race that will come here and fuck you up. Yeah. Like, if they show up, they run shit. That's just how it is. But the Greys, they don't run shit. They ain't shit. They're like another humanoid type person from another planet who is older than us that has had time. We are well on our way to placing our brains in artificial bodies. We have the 2045 project. For those of you that don't know what the 2045 project is, Swedish billionaires have basically put together the world's greatest minds to make a cyborg by the year 2045. They claim we'll have half human, half robot. Yeah. Will we? Who the fuck knows?
Probably.
It's interesting to think about, though.
Probably. I mean, you think about it. If you could connect the brain to some electric, you know what I mean?
Right.
You may be able to make it work. fuck, who are we to know? I mean,
We
fuck.
don't know, and
Yeah.
that's the fucked up
An
part.
endless budget can get you a lot of things.
And that's kind of we will wrap this first one up right here with kind of that general thought of we don't know. You know, me and Brett don't know. Nothing we
This
said
is all
matters.
opinions.
Yeah, but so is your preacher's.
Absolutely.
Your preacher's opinion is no different than ours.
It's the same.
Your
Exactly the
fucking best friend's opinion is no different than ours. We are operating in a existence of theory, an existence of everything being theory. We can prove some things, but not all things.
Right, and if you're listening to us, you probably are thinking the same things we're saying. It's just we are two people that will actually voice it.
Right. If your first step into getting out there and really kind of evolving your mind past the point of being tied down is to just understand that nobody knows, nobody has the answers.
Just think for yourself. Think outside the box.
Right, you're a fucking human being. Your conscience is the same as your preacher's. Your conscience is the exact same as our president's. Your conscience is the same as a gay dude's. Your conscience is the same as a lesbian chick's. Your conscience is the same as someone, right, the different religion, different color. It's all the same, guys. Like, literally, you have to understand that it's all the same, and there are way bigger fucking things at play here than our silly religion.
Absolutely.
Like, get the fuck real.
Yep.
And good news, we got lots of Brett that will be on here with us, so this is just the first one we put together.
We barely touched anything today.
Right, be looking for a lot more.